I was multitasking. I was so busy working on
Can
the.
they hear it now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, so we good. All right, y'all, let's get it going. How we looking? What they say?
100. Thank you.
Okay. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Y'all, we greatly apologize for the delay, but we're having a few technical difficulties, but y'all, we're going to get it going right forward. Y'all know how we do it. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. Men are to uncover their head. Women are to cover their head when praying or prophesying within the assembly. Y'all, we hold our hands high as we are instructed. We want the Most High to lift us up today, y'all, as we bring forth this lesson today in these perilous times. So with that, y'all, hallelujah and long live the King.
Long live the King. We're going to get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission.
Yes, sir.
In the name of his only beloved and begotten Son, our uncrowned King, our Lord, our Savior, and our Redeemer.
Yes, sir.
Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yes, sir.
And we know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all.
Yes,
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 91st chapter, it reads, He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Yes, sir.
I will say of the Most High, He is my refuge
Yes, sir.
and my fortress,
Yes.
my Elohim. In him will I trust.
Yes,
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness,
Yes, sir.
nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Most High, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation.
That's right.
There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hand, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shall thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Hallelujah! Say loud! Put your trust in the Most High.
Corona.
Right. Corona what?
Yes, sir. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
That's right. Yes,
All right, y'all. We're going to get right to it, y'all. We behind. We lost about a good half hour, 45 minutes, y'all. But we're going to get right into today's lesson, y'all, which is we're dealing with, because of these epidemics hitting, pandemics hitting, you know, we got a lot of itchy-eared doctrine coming up, y'all, as we move into the beginning of sorrows. Y'all, this ain't nowhere even near the middle of what's prophesied to come upon this land.
Nowhere near.
And on all the lands of planet Earth. Y'all, so we want to deal with how you deal with last day plagues and prophecies of destruction, y'all. But we can't let science or what's called religion get in the way. So today's topic is Bible fact versus science/religion. Now, will you find science and religion in the Bible? You'll find it just like you find the word Easter. But each word has a definition. And it also has law that go with you, which tells you which form to serve the scripture in. So when you see the word science, it don't point to scientists like Albert Einstein because they're listed as the wise men of Tema.
That's right.
It points to the law of the Most High, which law is supreme over everything, because everything they're trying to figure out is governed by his law that he gave to those elements, so to speak. The sun, the moon, the stars.
Yes,
they
sir.
take commandments. So when you bring in science to try to figure out what the Most High do, you're trying to circumvent his understanding and tell the whole world you know about it. And how you see a lot of this is man lands on Mars. That's how they'll title it. And then you wait a minute, when that happened? Then we start looking at it may be possible for man to land on Mars in 30, 40, 50, 60 years, especially if we find a little water. So that draws you into the theory. So all science is today is what's called science theory. So we want to get those words pulled up if we can. We want to get up science, religion, and theory. Go
I
ahead.
just want to clear up something from last week. There was a question asked, and how we get down here is we try to answer all questions.
That's right.
Whether it be today, tomorrow, or next week.
Yes, sir.
It has to be answered. So there was a question posed last Sabbath about Christ being dead in the earth in the Old Testament for 3 days. Is that found in the Old Testament? The only one we can go to that matches up with the New Testament of Matthew 12 and 40 is Jonah 1:17.
That's right.
Okay? Now, we always have to, like Dan said, we always have to be skeptical from what perspective is the question being asked.
Yes, sir.
Is it being asked from a non-believer, a non-messianic, or someone who's just trying to find the truth?
Right.
So we always must understand in which way is the question being asked. Is it being asked from a standpoint of trying to find fault? Because there are non-messianic and there are those who do not believe in the Old Testament at all. So we have to make sure that the question that's being asked is being asked from a perspective of one who's a believer seeking truth.
That's right.
Not from one who's seeking fault and don't believe at all in the Old Testament or the Messiah.
That's right.
So the answer to that question is we have Jonah 1:17 that matches directly up with Matthew 12:40. The only sign Israel seeketh the sign. The only sign that should be given unto him is the sign of Jonah.
That's right.
In the belly 3 days, 3 nights. That's in Jonah 1:17.
And let me say this right. So what he's saying is not to get it mixed up, or you're looking for, whoever asking this question is looking for a prophecy in the Old Testament and say, and he shall be in the earth 3 days. That wasn't the question that the Messiah answered. So you need not delve into what the question. The question was asked, give us a sign when the end shall be, or when these things should come to pass. And he said, you ain't getting no sign.
Right.
The signs you already got, the virgin and had it, where it was born, those the signs, and I'm going to go to the cross. Those are the signs you were given in the Old Testament about my coming, because that was going to prove, not only this, it say I'm going to have the 7 gifts of wisdom. Y'all seen me raise the dead, walk on water, told a storm to be quiet and settle down.
Right.
You know, so we have to understand what he's saying, but they kept asking, well, tell us when all these things be the last day, when is it coming? And he said, Israel always looking for a sign. Let me tell you what sign you're going to get. I'm going to be in the earth 3 days and 3 nights, but it's going to be comparable to Jonah. If you move that subject matter anywhere else to try to say, where is that at in Isaiah 6 that he going to be there? He didn't say nothing about that. He told you about those prophecies, already to fulfill them.
Yes, sir.
And them been fulfilled. What we're talking about now is after crucifixion, what's going to happen. The sign that I'm going to give y'all, just like Jonah, trouble was coming.
Right.
And Jonah was saved out of it. Just like trouble coming for y'all, y'all gonna be saved out of it. So we keep the conversation right there. We're not going back over here to try to put this in Isaiah 7 chapter, try to put it in Micah 2. Those have been fulfilled. What he's telling them is about to sign. Go ahead, Elijah.
And so that's what he was saying in Matthew. He says, I come not to change the law, but to fulfill. He was only fulfilling the prophecies written beforehand by Isaiah and all the other prophets that he should be born of a virgin, suffer, die, bury, and resurrect. It had nothing to do with death, because those who are non-believers seek death. He says he's the God of the living. Let the dead bury the dead.
Yes, sir.
So it's not concerning about the death, it's about the resurrection to life eternal.
Boy, y'all hear that? They're talking about being born again. So y'all, what we're talking about is the sleight of hand, and that's going to go good with the class we're dealing with today, because sometimes people will see the word magic in the Bible, like they'll see science in their religion, and they think they can go off and become a scientist or get caught up in religion. But we're going to see what the Bible defines those two topics as, so we don't get mixed up, y'all, so we don't get caught up in all the YouTube videos that's flying out of there. So if we could, just want to start with 1 Tim 4. And we're just going to read the first verse. We're going to get down there. We're just going to get to the point where it talks about perilous time, because those are the times we're in. And y'all, let us understand, you know, y'all, we're not to tempt the Lord.
That's right.
We are to watch as well as pray, y'all. This coronavirus is nothing to sneeze at, y'all. What we're talking about is being under the shadow of the Most High's wing, and that's Psalm 91 that bruh read. And read so eloquently. You know, that's what we're talking about, being under that protection, like we was under the protection in Egypt when he said put blood on your doorpost. It's time to mark your heart with the blood.
That's right.
Because he's ready to pass over, y'all. This is what we're talking about. So we can't take those plagues lightly, no more than we took the plagues lightly in Egypt. There was instructions to follow.
Yes, sir.
So in like manner, y'all, what they're trying to do is get this contained, get it all in one house with every family member who you hang out with. We're going to let it ride out in there. We're going to lock the city down if we have to. Y'all, at the job they gave me what's called traveling papers. If they lock the highways down or different things, you're considered an essential employee. We need you here. Show them your papers that you can travel. So we're not to look at this or sneeze on it like it don't mean anything, y'all. This may go into full lockdown. Brother send me shots out of the DMV up there, Washington, Maryland, up in that way. They got troops, I should say, National Guard parked in JFK Stadium, ready for the command if we have to move to full quarantine lockdown, y'all.
Yeah, they already about to, they said by the end of the weekend, they should be ready to deploy National Guards, military, and first responders to wherever they need to deploy them to. Our sister that's from our house, her son is in the National Guards, and he's already received his call and letter to be prepared, ready to go.
Yo, it's more than a notion, y'all, because this is germ warfare. Let's not be fooled about this, y'all. This ain't just nowhere. This is, nothing can get to the four corners like that. And the reason it's slow in Africa is because viruses can't survive in high temperature. Neither can it survive in your body in high temperature. That's why you get the fever and ward it off unless there's a pre-existing condition within you that virus jumps on and takes you out with your pre-existing condition. So y'all, we want to be clear about what's happening here all over the globe. And Africa ain't escaping, because those locusts has been turned up. They finna hit 5 countries over in Africa, then they head to Saudi Arabia. And they say they are the exact same locusts that hit Egypt 3,500 years ago. Same exact locust, and they eat.
They swarm. They so swarm that you can't even see a human figure in the midst of them.
Y'all, and that's eating up that half. So we have to look. Is it plagues from the Lord? Well, the Lord says sin causes plagues. So this is the result of what y'all want to do. So technically, is it coming from the Lord? Yes, it's because you reap what you sow. It's just deserts of coming back on this nation, because the wise men and the scientists or doing things in the dark, spiritual wickedness in high places, y'all, we can't even conceive of that these diseases are unleashed on the people. Y'all watch as well as pray right now for all y'all. Our Passover is still on for April the 8th until we get confirmation on April the 1st. So any of y'all out of town guests, I'll be in touch with y'all who y'all already made connection with me. I'll let y'all know ahead of time, y'all, by April 1st, and I hope nobody's having to fly in because that's going to be a problem for you anyway. Flights are on lockdown. But if you're driving, it's possible to make it on here, y'all. We're going to keep y'all informed of those of y'all out of town guests. I'm going to keep y'all abreast of what's going on. So right now, I got a call from our establishment, and they say, we're good, we'll confirm April 1st. Y'all, if we have to, that means we got to go numbers 9. We got to go into the second month Passover if something happens. So we'll be looking at May 8th or 9th based on this lockdown and this quarantine. If that fails, y'all, then what we'll go into is, and we'll know before we have to get a second, we'll make provisions and get with the committee and change up if we have to spread this thing out over certain houses. If they say 10 or more in there, we'll go that route, or we're going to have to just reduce it to who's ever in y'all house, y'all Passover is there. But we'll try to get crackers out. That's right. The very first one was in everybody's own house. So y'all, we want to be clear on that, y'all. We want to get understood on that. We're not playing around. We're not tempting the Lord with this. Because y'all, it's dangerous, and you got to understand, all Israel ain't Israel. That's right. Some people come to the Passover and ain't got one measure in their heart about it. It's just like I heard, I'll see what they doing. But the heart may not be right. Maybe sitting there full of
venom.
Yeah. Leavening. Yeah. So y'all, we want to get this going, and we ain't going to belabor anymore. Give me them first 6 verses of that 110, y'all.
Family.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, family. Which one? What?
The first few.
Of what chapter?
First 10, 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to hit them few, and we're gonna move right into the lesson, y'all. We're gonna give a definition of science, religion, and theory, so y'all get the understanding, y'all, because there's a lot of itchy ear doctrine out here. People are starting to try to explain what the body is made of, but we're going to see what the Bible say. What you made of, and what the result of what's going to happen with you.
Right.
Now, if you're looking for carbons and body made out of diamonds in this part, your lungs made out of that, well, you looking in the wrong book. Let's get where we at.
1 Tim, chapter 4, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly,
right,
that in the latter time,
in the what time?
Latter time, some shall depart from the faith.
From the faith of Messiah, y'all, because faith is Messiah. When faith comes, see, faith always been around. It ain't like faith just gonna show up out the blue. Faith been since the beginning. Amen. So some will depart from Messiah's teaching. Go ahead.
Giving heed to seducing spirits.
What kind of spirits?
Seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
See, so now we got to get the understanding that it's doctrines of devils, y'all. We don't worry about idols. See, an idol, you shouldn't bring it into your house because you'll fall into false worship. Understanding that if we couldn't worship this menorah.
That's right.
There's 7 spirits before the church. This is a representation. That's all we're showing. This is a shadow of what's in the temple of the Most High. It's just a shadow of things. We can't fall to worship that. So what we want to get clear on, when you're talking about doctrines of devils, now we're talking about fallen angels' teachings, which lie in science and religion, coupled by theory. Ideologies. So we're going to hit that so we get some understanding. Then when we see those words, just like we see Easter. Well, Easter in the Bible. Yes, it is. So you can hold that, Elijah. But I want to get that understanding of Easter being in the Bible. Give me some Acts 12 and 12:4. Yep. And so we can get an understanding of which way I'm going with this also, y'all, because there's a great gathering that has to take place. Y'all, this is crucial on the Pentecostal doctrine right now. They think they supposed to have been gone.
Flyaways.
Pastor, wait a minute. Pastor, what you mean the National Guard were? And you've locked the church down, Pastor, what's going on? But you know what else they had under there? There will be made provisions for you to donate electronically. You know,
I heard that. You can still give from home.
yeah.
Oh, see, this is what they said that while you can't go to church, still donate. They said that on TV.
Right, so they like, look, you still gonna get the lesson. But what you have to understand is, Pastor, you said, you didn't say it like this. You say we was gonna be gone when this started.
Rapture.
We was gonna be out of here. So, does the Bible talk about a rapture? It talks about what's called a great gathering.
Have you been giving like you should the last few months?
Right. The rapture is a gathering, but it's not the gathering of the Lord. Like we're saying, the scientists today, or majority of them are atheists. They cannot believe in one God because they said there's a natural cause for this phenomenon to be happening. It does sound like it's running.
Y'all,
Check it out.
what's up with that water, y'all?
It's running in there. No, I'm saying, is it going overboard? Check it out. Is it filling up and cutting off? That's what we asked. It sounds pretty loud. Yeah, that's loud, man. That sounds like a fire extinguisher.
Look, Zeb on it.
Yeah.
That's that manager, maintenance manager in it.
Yeah.
Got him live there.
Right, absolutely.
I'll handle this.
Yeah, he sure got the live stream going too, did he? Yes, sir. So y'all, we want to get that understanding. So if you will, give me the definition of science, religion, and theory.
Got him. You want them in that order?
Acts 4?
Yeah, science, yeah. Huh?
Acts 4.
Yeah, go ahead, did Acts 4 first. I'm jumping the gun. Go ahead, thank you.
Acts chapter 12, verse 4.
Acts 4.
We there?
No.
Acts 12, 4.
Yes,
Acts
sir.
12 and verse 4. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4
Quaternions.
Quaternions.
Yes.
that too, a soldier, to keep him, intending after Easter,
After what?
Easter, to bring him forth to the people.
So now the church will hold right there. But y'all know how we do. We say keep reading, Elijah.
Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto Yahweh for him. And when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains.
Hold it right there, Elijah. What I want you to back it up to verse 3. That's what I want.
Oh, you want to go back up?
I want to go back the other way. Verse 3 will explain which Easter this was. Because there's 2 Easters in the world. One comes with bunny rabbits and eggs and plenty of leavening. Plenty of leavening and one don't. Let's see which one that this Acts is talking about. I should have said one. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread.
What kind of days was that?
Unleavened bread.
See, so we know this Easter was going on. Passover, when you look up Easter, it means Pascal, P-A-S-C-A-L, or Passover. And it was the days of unleavened bread. Pascal, this is just telling you the events that was happening at that time. You know, and they say the Jews further, look, it was the Jews that killed Peter and John. They was the ones that egged that on. The same rogue Israelites with the leavening. That's what we have to be careful of, y'all, more than anything out here, because the doctrines is flying out here in the last days. These men are trying to force the Messiah to bring the kingdom back on their terms. They actually want to set up a kingdom within this kingdom.
Within a defiled
They still want to use this kingdom's money and this kingdom system, but be in charge of it.
And they want to enter in with the same kind of blood and stain that they have on their vestures right now.
Yes, sir. So let's get right to it, y'all. I just want to get that as an example, but go ahead and give me that science, and we're going to get right into how the script defines these things. So y'all, now we know how to study science. Because we don't have to go and understand, you know, splitting the atom and what is that going to do? Is that going to, are you trying to say now there was a Big Bang if you split an atom? So are we into evolution? Because that's what it is.
That's right.
You say you come from monkeys, huh, do you?
Right, still here.
But monkeys still here.
That's right.
And when they gonna show a half man, half monkey dead? I'm talking about the transition where he still got a piece of tail and he's starting to transform. Like, you know how a tadpole turned into a frog?
Right.
Catch him in between and say this one died during transformation. What a transformation at? And why is it still monkeys?
And not only that, if
Yeah.
you notice,
Yeah.
every diagram of the evolution is always the white man at the end of the
Yeah, right.
They never shows a brother with an afro at the end of the monkey evolution. But you call us the monkeys, but your diagram shows y'all the monkeys.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right, that's your paperwork.
Back in 1974,
Uh-huh.
I went to school. I took up mortuary science. And we took the same courses that the nurses took. So when you got a monkey to dissect, and one thing they told you, don't shave the monkey.
Don't shave.
Don't shave.
Right.
And these Edomites.
But just like, look, right, you know, so it would defeat the purpose. You know,
Old white woman.
look, y'all have to understand, they are descendants of Adam. We can't lose that thought process. What the problem is, they're comparing us to something that they look more like. That's the problem. But if you take blood from them, you can take blood from them, but you can't take it from a monkey.
Right.
That's two different kind of blood. Right, their blood don't trace back to a monkey. If it is, some of us in trouble. Because you don't know whose blood you getting on the operating table, do you?
Some of them.
Do you? But
Their origin is from a black.
right, everybody on planet Earth descended from that got on that ark is descendants of Noah.
Yes, sir.
Every nation on this planet.
Every last one.
So we want to be clear on that. We don't want to change that. All we're saying is what they say we look like and act like. All of the definition that they're doing actually fits them because they're like, shit, we look closer to that. Messiah said we like a lion. Don't look like the king of the jungle, so to speak. The king of planet Earth, so to speak. That's all he's letting us know. That's the only comparison that he makes with the animal kingdom and us. As a representation of something so you can see what the deal is. Y'all, and that's how he gets down. That's what he do. If a man oxen fall in the hole, he give you those type of examples with something you can see with these eyes and understand earthly things before I can take you up a level.
That's right.
If you can't understand this and you still scratching and looking like Curly Stooges, you in a lot of deep mode. It's gone too far. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Got to do the definition. You still.
Oh yeah, let's get them definitions, bro.
Yeah, these definitions are coming out of the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language, New College Edition. And this definition is the definition of science. Yeah, this ain't your elementary school dictionary, boy.
That's advanced. Right.
The definition of science is the observation, identification, description, experimental investigation, and theoretical explanation of natural phenomena.
See, what kind of explanation?
Theoretical.
Theoretical,
Right.
and we're gonna get that definition so it clears up what they're basing their science off of. Go ahead.
The second definition is such activity restricted to a class of natural phenomena. 3, such activity applied to any class of phenomena. 4, any methodological activity, discipline, or study. Any activity that appears to require study and method.
See, we can hold that. So we got a full, clear understanding of science. It's to bring in knowledge. We understand it, but one said a theory. So we got to make sure that what we're explaining from the Bible is not from a theory perspective. And who's teaching it from theory? Go ahead, what is theory? Or you got it?
Religion.
Go ahead, religion. You can do it in your order, you got it. Go ahead.
Religion, first explanation, is the expression of man's belief in the reverence for a superhuman power.
For what?
A superhuman power.
So religion is about worship of a superhuman power. Okay, so we see in that, go ahead.
Recognized as the creator and governor of the universe.
Governor and creator of the universe. Not the universe. We're talking about the head honcho chief, the creator of what you're saying you're locked into your science in. That's a little booty work. Go ahead, bro.
2, any particular integrated system of this expression, the Hindu religion. 3, the spiritual or emotional attitude of one who recognizes the existence of a superhuman power or power.
So that tends to hang on. Some people look at Lucifer like that, which he is a supernatural power, given power by the Most High to do his work. So we have to understand that, but we got to keep on which side of the road that we on. We got to make sure there's one path to the Father. Any other way you are what?
Thief and a robber.
See, you can't be on that science that makes you a thief and a robber. Especially of the soldier of Israel. Let me get that last one. Theory.
Theory, systematically organized knowledge applicable in a relatively wide variety of circumstances, especially a system of assumption.
Of a what?
Of assumption. Accepted principles and rules of procedure devised to analyze, predict, or otherwise explain the nature or behavior of a specified set of phenomena. Such knowledge or such a system distinguished from experiment to practice. Abstract reasoning, speculation.
What?
Speculation.
Speculation, huh?
Broadly, hypothesis.
Hypothesis?
Or supposition.
Right.
That's what that is. Could be, might be.
Right. So you know one of their publics was old Socrates.
Think about it.
Some people call him Socrates.
Plato.
But old Socrates now.
Socrates and Plato.
So y'all, this is what we're talking about. A theory is hypothesis. You know, they based on, well, maybe it's, look, how you gonna tell me we can't go to Antarctica, but at 12 noon, between 12 and 2 p.m. Before that time and after that time, it's too cold for any mechanical device to move all or freeze up in Antarctica, because it gets of temperatures of 60 and 70 below zero. Now, according to their writings, they say the moon is 338 degrees below zero when the sun is on the opposite side of it. 338 degrees below zero. And you can't go to 60 below here on Earth. Now they say when the sun rolls back around on that side, as high as 700, 500 degrees or better Fahrenheit. Film melts at 150 degrees. How you taking pictures by your calculations? See, so what I'm saying is science, their science don't make sense to them. Their theories and their hypotheses that try to get you to understand what they're saying, and you saying, I can see that. One day I can see man on the moon. One day I can see that because of scientific hypotheses. But they've never showed you nobody walking on the moon without being in a suit or enclosed in a capsule. Your body was not designed for that according to 1 Corinthians 15. There's flesh terrestrial. There's flesh celestial. Terrestrial flesh can't be out there. It'll disintegrate.
Then there's the radiation belt.
Sir, all of that they tell you. What you got, Theo?
How do they get these measurements and stuff? Oh, okay, I thought.
Well, look, I mean, they do enough, like I'm saying.
Like, how you know the moon is Mickey Mouse away?
Well, look, how do they know this? How do they know this star is 3,000 light years away?
Yeah, how they measure that?
Look, speed of light is measured at 187,000 miles per second.
How do you measure that?
How did you? Well, they had mirrors at two ends, and when the sun came up, it hit the other mirror. They say that's the speed of it. But that's the test they done to test the speed of light. And they count. Yeah, it makes sense here on Earth because we had sundial. I'm talking about here on Earth. You can measure things here on Earth. But when you get up out of there, the Most High say, I'm going to ask you some questions about that. We're going to get into some Job 38. So y'all understand the Most High explains his science. His study of the universe which he created.
So can you measure
these things? Yes, sir. So y'all, let's get right to it. I want to get right into Colossians 1:1. And just so we get some understanding, and then we're going to get right into some teams that are going to explain science and the one places that religion are in there, y'all, because a lot of people attack you with these one-liners. There it is, Easter right there. There it is right there. It says science. Don't that say science? But if you keep reading, the Bible explains when it uses these words so that you don't get misunderstood with hypotheses and theories.
And then when it mentions religion, it says a pure religion.
That's what we're talking about, Elijah. We're going to go right there in that James. See, y'all, and what we're talking about is the theory of evolution. The assumptions that man came from a monkey 10 billion years ago. So are we still evolving? Because that would be a problem too within itself, because the UFOs or the aliens that y'all say y'all waiting on are so far advanced, then how do you always defeat them in your movies? But you learn it from them. See, it's as crazy as a kung fu movie. You killed my teacher. Well, what you doing here? You gonna defend him? I killed your teacher. What you gonna do? Break a board. Boards don't hit back. Everybody good? We good? Let's roll on, y'all. Let's hit that license. Colossians chapter 1, verse 1, and we're gonna read down as far as 20. We may cut it off for time's sake.
Colossians.
But this is talking about Messiah and the Godhead, the science of man's existence. The science of Messiah's supernatural flesh that we just read about. We have to get this understood, y'all, for us to give him worship. For us to understand the gospel given to him by his Father. If you don't understand at first their existence in this matter, you ain't going to understand nothing. You're going to accept Negroes who claim they this Messiah. Ain't done no miracles. But take your money. Go ahead.
Colossians chapter 1, verse 1. Paul, an apostle of Yahweh HaMashiach,
Right.
by the will of Yahweh,
Right.
and Timotheus our brother, to the saints and faithful brethren in Hamashiach, which are at Colossae. Grace be unto you, and peace from Yahweh our Father.
That's right.
And the Lord, Yahweh Hamashiach. We give thanks to Yahweh and the Father of our Lord, Yahweh Hamashiach, praying always for you, since we heard of your faith in Christ Yahweh Shah, and of the love which ye have to all the saints.
So right here, we're not seeing one time that they're saying you have to call him Yahweh. You have to call him Yeshua. This is talking about father and son. See, because there's a lot of people out there calling themselves father and son. This is going to separate that theory with Bible fact. See, this is what we're talking about. What is Bible fact versus science and religion? This is Bible fact. If it was not, the scientists, look, they're talking about you come from here, but then every one of the scientists is saying, oh, it's of biblical proportions. That's an oxymoron. What you're trying to decipher and say, well, it ain't really that. Yet when you see a phenomenon, like he kept reading, phenomenons. These are things that are not naturally seen every day. They can't explain it. They try to give an what is it? You know what I'm talking about. Let's get it.
Verse 5. For the hope which is laid up for you in heaven.
In where?
Heaven. Whereof ye heard before the word of the truth of the gospel.
Of the what?
Gospel. Which is come unto you, as it is in all the world, and bringeth forth fruit, as it doth also in you, since the day ye heard of it, and knew the grace of Yahweh in truth.
See, and since the day you heard of y'all, just like every day you heard, when you heard, you like, that's the truth I've been looking for. That's it. I done been down the Muslim, I done heard Farrakhan, he's talking a lot of nothing and dynamics. I went to Buddha, but I heard this, and no, his sum up with his diet because his stomach ain't shrinking. I tried this over here, the Jehovah's Witnesses, but that appears to be taking me out of the 144,000. If I knock on your door, I'm losing my spot, ain't it? Damn, that ain't. See, so the gospel that was preached, y'all, we understand when that light turned on, you said, that's it. That's what my soul been yearning for. It's just like young children, y'all, these youngsters are out of control on the street because there's no law. There's no spiritual law. And once you get one that you try to break down, some explain to him, the law, he gravitates to it. He may fall off, but it brings him right to it. His soul, what we were made up is to be made up to be a commandment acceptor. That's what we have receptacles but Satan is trying to put short in the wire so you can't get connected to the truth. Your chemical makeup, you were made up to, when you hear the commandments, they jump on you. This is what they're saying. So Satan has got to put that zit, zit, you know, that turns it off and spark you up. Now here you go wandering over that way. Because you're disconnected now. Let's read some more, Elijah.
Verse 7. As ye also learned of Ephraim, our dear fellow servant, who is for you a faithful minister of Yahweh Shai, who also declared unto us your love in the Spirit. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that ye might walk worthy of the Most High unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of Yahweh.
Right.
Strengthened with all might.
Strengthened with what?
All might, according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness.
See, patience and long suffering with joyfulness. See, a lot of people get mad, y'all, because we be laughing sometimes. Look, I mean, it says, enjoy the fruits of your labor. See, if you mad, it may not be no fruits of labor going on, so you don't be angry. Pockets flat as the plains of Kansas, that brings about anger. See, he gives instruction what brings joy. Look, and this a feast day, y'all, we ain't supposed to be sitting here. I know damn well he didn't like that menorah. He lit a fire on the Sabbath. Where you reading that at? Under the order of Melchizedek and the instruction from the one we're reading about who was there at the beginning. When he put it down, the plan B, the fix in case Adam and fail was already put in place, y'all. This is not like they have to stumble and scratching heads and figure out how we gonna get this going. This ain't Trump and Pence trying to figure out the coronavirus. Some call it the Cornelius virus. It's messing with too much. Yeah, go ahead, yo, brother. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 12. Giving thanks unto the Father, which have made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who have delivered us from the power of darkness.
From the power of what?
Darkness.
Yo, there's a power of darkness. I want y'all to understand the key word he used. What is it called?
The power of darkness.
Let's not be misunderstood, y'all. Power. When you say power, how you gonna brag on you got 300 horsepower? And when we talk about the powers of darkness, you act like we talking about Casper the ghost. Yo, this is power in that darkness. It's seductive. It takes place at night. Think about all of the power of the darkness you participated in. Before the light make you change your mind. Look, I'm adding something. Before the light made you change your mind. Y'all understand? Before the light made you readjust your schedule. Because that's going to keep you doing, if you understand, keep the power of darkness. The power of darkness, when the light comes on, you run for the cracks, holes in the walls. Like a roach. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 13. Who have delivered us from the power of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear son.
See, y'all, that's a translation. Translated, y'all. Y'all have to understand that's what 1 Corinthians 15 talking about. We have to be transformed and translated into this light. Enoch was what? Translated, wasn't it? Enoch wasn't reincarnated. Enoch wasn't nothing. Say Enoch was translated. He was given the astronaut suit, so to speak, to go up into them celestial realms.
Changed in the twinkling of an eye.
And I'm not talking about in a vision. He went up in an IFO, an identifiable flying object. The Most High identifies all his objects. He said in Ezekiel 1:27, by the river Chabar, Jasher 3rd and 4th chapter, he identifies, because they're writing it down. It's a wheel inside of a wheel. And see these fiery chariots coming on it. They're writing it down. What they call UFO is a what? Unidentified. That's why can't nobody identify. It's some bright lights. It was 3 lights. They went back together. No, it was over there. Then it jumped over there. But why is every other film clear except for the UFO? Why is it always blurry? Ain't no HD for tracking it. I mean, is it an HD radar? You know, what kills the HD signal off of a UFO?
Or Bigfoot never clear.
Right, you know, so what we're talking about is Bigfoot ain't never clear either.
You know, they found the old man who said he posed for that they paid him.
And we know, y'all, and there's probably some things out there, y'all, that they done mixed in a laboratory and turned it loose. But y'all, all of these things are grainy because they bring about theory. What do they call it?
Speculation.
Conspiracy theory. Understand, it's a theory, a conspiracy theory. Nobody can prove what you're saying by fact. So y'all, we have to make sure that we don't do conspiracy theories about this coronavirus. We have to make sure we're dealing with biblical fact. And the best we can say is the way it's looking and the damage that it's causing. A disease ain't never caused nothing like this on planet Earth before.
It's a plague.
It's a plague. I'm talking about when you attack the money, this is on the levels of Egypt. We need to start getting close back into the beginning, because it says it's going to be just like that. Right. Now, we were moving around when we came into Egypt, y'all. It was a few years before things started hitting bad, but the money was failing all over the world, y'all. This is global economic chaos. This is not just attributed to America. Know why? Because you can't leave America and go anywhere else. They ain't let you in. Nor can you come back here after, when was it, yesterday?
Yep.
Don't come back here. People spending $20,000 for one-way flight back to get inside the deadline. Right. It's on lockdown, y'all. So we have to understand it's lockdown everywhere. There ain't no safe space on earth from this virus.
My cousin just made it home.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday from Vegas. He said, had he waited another day, he'd been stuck in Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't leave. Vegas, Sin City, it's shut down. It's dark. I got
the only part
in Vegas, and they said they have never seen Vegas that
like
quiet and empty.
You know the only thing open, Elijah? The drive-by peep show. Still can go there. Just drive up just like you finna get your order and keep it Y'all, look it up. It's the only thing open. Just look at it, y'all. Vegas, the only thing open is the drive-by peep show. but you're gonna keep it moving. You ain't going in. Whatever work you doing gonna be done in the front seat of that car, and you pulling on off.
Because the semi-photo is completely dark.
Yes, sir.
All the lights that's always lit up on all the
Manhattan dark,
out.
New York dark.
Dark.
Y'all have to understand the days, but the end is not yet.
Certain things have to take place.
So don't be caught up in the conspiracy theories, hypothesis of what's going on. Somebody asks you what's going on, you say the beginning of sorrows. That's your answer. You start digging into things. Well, you know, man, I once heard this philosopher say when the moon turned this color, and yesterday it was like this. It could be you. Well, what about all this prophecy?
Right.
Now you arguing that the Messiah ain't what's written in prophecy, but yet you gonna believe this theory. See, you don't believe Messiah is born of the Holy Spirit, birth conceived by the Holy Spirit, but yet you on the roof of the mighty men of Timon, tracking their calendar, thinking the world gonna come to the end in 2000. Which one you gonna believe? So you gonna believe the creature more than the creator.
Right, there you go.
See, you won't believe in a virgin birth, but you believe the year 2000, we finna sprout some wings and be gone, and you standing up there like, say, with your homosexual weight. That was 2000. What year we in? How many years ago that's been? 20 years been since that you trusted the creature more than the creator. He told you what was going to happen. I told you the science that's going to take place. The sun and the moon are going to go back to Genesis 1 and 1. 1 and 2. It's going to go back to supernatural light. Artificial light, I'm going to knock it out. And y'all gonna know. Other than that, why we into conspiracy theories, y'all? We just making it rougher on us at this time. Let's get caught up, y'all. Go ahead, Elijah. I ain't gonna talk.
Verse 14. In whom we have redemption through his blood.
What we have?
Redemption. Through his blood, even the forgiveness of sin.
See, so not only do we have redemption, but we have forgiveness through his blood. We can't get redemption through nobody else, y'all. Read some more, Elijah.
Who is the image of the invisible Yahweh.
Who is he? What?
The image of the invisible Elohim. The firstborn of every creature.
The firstborn of every creature. Y'all, this was before Mary was even thought of. He had this position and power. But they're going to try to make you believe it's after your mind is full of lasciviousness. And Joseph couldn't wait. And y'all want to bring him forth under those circumstances because that's what you like to practice. Read some more.
Verse 16.
What it say?
For by him were all things created. That are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
Do y'all understand what they're saying? This is who we're talking about, that this is faith. If you put this faith on a carnal man like ourselves, shame on you. It's going to render you powerless because he is. If a Negro walk through that door and we jump up and turning over drinks on this table, general on deck. Y'all, we done got a hold to something worse than coronavirus did. We done got a hold to the respect of person virus. And it's got to end much swifter. If you will, just real quick, give me Job 32, 21 and 22. I just want to hit this one verse so y'all understand the swiftness of this plague that's coming through called respect of person. Because this plague is going to kill you. Because these leaders have no answers for you. They're going to instruct you to take the mark of the beast so you can continue to contribute to the church. You think they're going to let that be kind with Pastor? They ain't got no way you took the mark yet? Have you taken the salvation mark? said 30, 21.
21 and 22. 21 and 22, yeah.
21, 22.
Yes, sir.
Job chapter 32, verse 21. Let me not, I pray you, accept any man's person.
Any man's person. Let me not accept it. Y'all understand the first time I see him coming, already, I know this a cool brother. You ain't heard him say nothing yet. You just seen him walking up here because he got on gaiters.
Or fringes.
Yeah. Read some more.
Neither let me give flattering titles unto man.
Neither let me give flattering titles unto man. Third in command of heaven is a flattering title. This title is beyond the president of this nation. He's third in command. He's talking about what we just was reading about how Messiah was created. He say after the Messiah, he was next. Do y'all understand what he said? He was the first creation. If he's saying he's third in heaven, he said, I was next on the list. Some Negro eating chicken. A big arm. Boy, come on, go ahead.
Verse 22. For I know not to give flattering titles, and so doing my maker would soon take me away.
See, soon take me away. This is a plague that attacks quick on you. See, y'all, sin brings about plague. Y'all have to understand this plague, whatever it is doing, is brought about by sin. If you keep saying in your conspiracy theories, what is this coronavirus connected to Donald Trump? You still saying it's evil practices. What is evil practices called? Sin. It's a plague of sin. They're reaping what they're sowing. And it's called population control.
Yes, sir.
Let's see how we can control the population with a minor virus. Now, anytime you still got food on the shelves and politician ain't on there, who done riddled that yet? Right. Figure it out. Look, I just went and got food for the feast day here, and it ain't no toilet tissue. It's napkins and paper towels.
Yeah, no toilet tissue.
But it ain't no toilet tissue. You know why? Because when we lock it down, we're going to lock a bunch of sick people in the same house. And the only thing getting rid of virus is coming out of one end or the other.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One end or the other. And we're going to turn your water back on if it's off. So if y'all water off, y'all get it turned back on for free. Because they want it gone down the drain. And if you run out of toilet paper, you're going to start using rags and different things. And you're going to run out of them. And the worst thing you can do is get a hold to somebody else's butt rag. You done went in the wrong room. See, women have 3 or 4 different rags. A man just, he'll wipe under his arm and his rear end with the dish rag and throw it back in the sink. You mess around and stomach that bread,
Hang it right back up.
Hey, y'all know it. If it wasn't the truth, y'all wouldn't be laughing. All y'all that got a whiff of somebody's rear end rag. It's their face rag in this one. Cause you didn't want to go in the closet.
We got it from my mama.
Hey, I don't know where you got it from, bro. But I guarantee you won't do it again. Let's get some more. Where we at?
He finished that.
Oh, you finished that, bro? That's all I wanted to get y'all the importance of that plague, y'all. We go Jeremiah, 17:5. We go all of the script concerning respective persons, y'all. That's a plague, y'all, that will kill you. Y'all, let's get right to it. I want to get right into some 1 Tim 6, 13 through 21, y'all. And what we're doing now is this is going to bring up these 2 words, but he's going to explain to us just like he did about Easter. Those were the days of unleavened bread. Y'all, we have to understand that it didn't say those were the days of hunting for eggs. And those were the days that the bunny rabbits were plentiful. Children were running through grass and gobbling up eggs and scooping them up.
The bunnies don't lay eggs.
Right, see, now we got a whole nother problem. We got a theory now. Y'all understand? See what we saying, y'all? Do bunny lay eggs? Now look, they got a love song of bunnies laying eggs. Where Marvin Gaye is singing on their chocolate cover. Y'all ain't seen the Reese's?
It's a commercial.
It's a commercial. Y'all, it's all, one is the fertility god. That's why you have rabbits, because everything is compared to multiplying like rabbits. When you see rabbits multiplying, it could be 5 right here. When you come back next week, it's 205. That's how they multiply. That's what they're chasing and saying that's Easter versus what the scriptures say. And so we're going to do like manner with science, religion, and theory. Go ahead. We're going to deal with fact according to the Bible, because he done already challenged. Go ahead, bro.
We'll be reading in the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6, and we'll start our reading at verse 13.
Yes, sir.
Let's get some understanding, family. Yes, sir. Amen. Verse 13. I give thee charge in the sight of Yah, who quickeneth all things, and before Hamashiach Yahushua, who before Pontius Pilate witnessed a good confession, that thou keep this commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our Master Yahushua Hamashiach.
Y'all see how we got to keep that without spot, y'all, best we can. He's looking for a church without spot or wrinkle. Hell, if you won't wear a wrinkled shirt to work, you'll put your shirt on. If it get wrinkled while you got it, you'll put the iron back on, try to iron it while it's on. Got it out. But yet, your soul is full, wrinkled as hell, like it just jumped out the dirty clothes house. Full of spots and wrinkles. Read some more.
Verse 15.
What it say?
Which in his times he shall show, who is the blessed and only potentate, the King of Kings.
The who?
The King of Kings and Lord of Lords, who only hath immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto.
Which no man can approach to. What does that word say? Who only hath what?
Immortality.
Y'all see, we're talking about a different individual. This didn't come from a roll in the hay. Come on, Mary, move your hand. Larry, move your hand. Larry, move your hand. Boy, go ahead.
Verse 16.
What it say?
Who only hath immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto, whom no man hath seen.
Who no man hath seen. Go ahead.
Nor can see. To whom be honor and power everlasting. Amen. Amen. Verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches.
See, uncertain riches is 401k. Y'all, it's very uncertain for those riches right now. Some people ain't gonna even look. I just don't even want to see it. Because if it's 400,000 there, it ain't half of it there right now. I don't want to see those zeros like that. It's gone like good candy. Read some more. And that don't mean don't get into it. What I'm just saying, it's uncertain riches. They told you that when you signed up for it. The most you may get back is what you put in, and you may not get that. Go ahead, sis.
So these people that just recently they found them out that stole that what is it when you trade?
Turned in some stocks early. They just sold early.
They did that stock.
3.1 million, 5.
Inside trade. Yeah, inside trade.
Well, they say they did it in January.
Yeah, they did. As soon as they heard it,
They did. And believe me, they would be locked up, y'all, already.
Right. Because
that's
supposed to be a federal crime, inside trading.
Yeah. They got Martha Stewart for $60,000. It was only $60,000, y'all. She's a billionaire.
5 years.
And they put her in jail. So when you hear Negroes around here talking about they can circumvent this law, that's a billionaire for $60,000 went to the pokey.
And she could have bought that out.
Her price tag got
20 years.
And she didn't use no sovereignty.
She wouldn't tell them.
She didn't use the straw man theory.
None. Go ahead, bro.
At 17 from the top.
Yes.
Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living Elohim.
But that's the only person they can trust in.
Yes.
Look, basketball players got Wuhan. I'm talking about Hebrew basketball players. Kevin Durant, a few off the Nets team, a few other ones. Lakers got 3 or 4. And y'all have to understand, these are young players. These are young, healthy players. Try it if you don't believe it. Try to run the full court with them 3. Just do 4 of them. If you think that youth ain't healthy, you try it. Look, because for one, you gonna have everybody else out in the arena passed out because you gonna be sucking all the oxygen out of there. Everybody else will be lightheaded because of you heaving on the floor. And look, they got it. They got it with millions. Can they isolate better? Can they get a hold of the best toilet paper? They probably got the Puppy 2002 toilet paper. Soft, y'all.
See, you got to that level. You got toilets that spray your booty.
Oh, you talking about the bidet? Yeah. But you still got to dry it off.
Still got a patty.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh man, that's a middle picture.
Yo, look, but we're laughing at perilous times. Y'all, but we're not tempting the Lord. Y'all, we got hand sanitizers all around. Bruh just dropped off, so y'all make sure before y'all leave, bruh just dropped off a whole box of personal sanitizer for your hands, so make sure y'all make y'all rounds around the table. He work at the factory. But y'all, this is what we talking about, y'all. We watching as well as praying. You have to be up for something, y'all, on this. It's not at these levels that they are doing what they are doing. If it didn't have some significance, they just not telling you everything that's going on. Y'all, this the genie that got out of the bottle, and we got locusts on the other end. It's crunch time. What you got, Theo?
Like I said, when you talking about locusts, it reminds me that locusts is really a plague, but we even had it here in the United States. We research history, 1870, they had a plague of locusts that was the size of California.
Right.
It's with the size of California. I mean, shut down.
That's what's moving over there. They say the size of Russia. And it's dropping dung on the way. It's eating 10 times its body weight and leaving dung behind, and it's sticky. Go ahead, where we at?
The ending of verse 17.
Yes, sir.
Who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
To do what?
To enjoy.
See, when he gives you things all richly to enjoy, how do you let the respect of a person make your life miserable? Because that's what it's going to be. You're miserable when you let another man be in charge of your life like that. I'm talking about your soul when I'm talking about your life. Nobody could be in charge of that but you. The final decision have to be, you have to make that decision. You know what? What you were saying in my mind, bro, you sure? That's the decision I'm rolling with for my life. Y'all, we're talking not about this flesh life. We're talking about eternal, the immortality, the what you have to be to dwell with Messiah we just read in Colossians. Let's read some more.
Verse 18. That they do good.
That they do what?
That they do good. That they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life.
On what kind of life?
Eternal life.
This fleshly life full of corona.
No, sir. Eternal life.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
Right.
avoiding profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science falsely so called.
See, an opposition of science falsely so called. So we're calling science, see, it's falsely so called, which is really is the knowledge of Most High. That's what science really is. That's what it should be called, the knowledge of the Most High. That's what science should be called. It's falsely called science. Because that looks, all you picture is somebody in a white robe, bushed out hair, you know, all you see is them tubes around and bubbles bubbling and machines. That's what we look at when we think about science, because we don't understand the Most High explaining science to us. Like in Job 31, in the book of Enoch, he explains science. Read some more.
Verse 21. Which some professing have erred concerning the faith.
Which some have done what?
Erred concerning the faith.
See, and then you'll get into error concerning the faith of this science, so to speak. You'll get in error because you're listening to mankind theories. If you're talking about it's melanin in the skin and it's about your dark skin, then them Hamites is on the top of the chain then.
They black as hell.
Boy, come on. Look, if Ark Richard walked in parts of Africa right now, they'd be like,
brother,
who is this mixed person? This high yellow nigga, where he come from? He would be high yellow in Africa. His mother must have been messing around with another nation. No, he high yellow over there. I'm talking about, they're so black, some of them look purple. Now, if it's about melanin and carbon, then they got it. Right? But do they run a 100-yard dash in less than 9 seconds? Do they leap out the gym? What happened to the one that did this? No. Who straightened that out? Jordan.
Mike leaped all
over the top of him and did him like, no, Ham. No. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Grace be with thee. Amen.
Amen. So y'all, now we see that science falsely so called, and people chase it because they put another name on it. Like they put the Great Gathering, they put a name called the Rapture on it. But guess what the difference is? It's called pre-tribulation gathering. Right. Before what we're experiencing now. Before, like Octone Tillman sent me photographs of the National Guard is compassed in RFK Stadium right now, waiting for orders. So y'all, we have to understand this, y'all. Before you start to get into wondering what's going on right here, the sign we got is the sign of Jonah. It's time to get right. The Most High don't punch you in the mouth so that you can go back and do what you're doing. He has to get our attention with these things. If they didn't lock us down, y'all, we'll be going out there just frolicking like we always do. That's what it say we're going to do in the last day. We're going to still be giving in marriage. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but what type of marriages are we going to be giving in? There's going to be marriage to animals. There's going to be same-sex marriages. He ain't never said stop getting married. He said just watch and see what's going on. Because plagues don't stop you from keeping the commandments. You're going to be with a woman, that's what's got to happen. Let's read some more.
Where you want to read from?
Let's get right to it, bro. James 1:19. That boy sharp this morning. You got any questions out there too, Bob?
No, sir.
Okay. James chapter 1, verse 19 through 27, we're going to deal with what true religion is. We just heard what science was. It's falsely called that. You know, but it's the knowledge of the Most High. And when Tim gets into it, he said it's the gospel. It contains everything.
Start at 18, bro.
Okay, and you see what Paul said, I'm an apostle, y'all. Look, there's apostles, then there's disciples, and then an apostle is a disciple who's elevated. He has a spiritual or supernatural intervention with Messiah the Father or an angel. They move up to apostle status because you're shown supernatural things. You know how the wise men of Teman or these scientists get into supernatural? LSD. Lysergic acid diethylamide will connect you with that. But guess what it always do? It give them death, not life. Albert Einstein split the atom. Was that to give everybody free electricity through all our generations? Or was that to create a bomb to control planet Earth?
Probably could.
Because they dropped 2 of them on knocking your socks off in Hiroshima. 2 of them they dropped on, and that was just hydrogen. Water-based bombs. Now they got thermonuclear holocaust that can block out the sun. And you know when the sun ain't giving no heat, what's gonna happen? Pray that your flight be not in the what, summer? Okay. Let's read some more.
When it could
We
come
can take
in
the
the middle of the
17.
I was trying to get it to 12.
Okay, go ahead, bro. Let's get it, y'all. Speed it up,
Yeah,
y'all.
we'll get 12. We'll get 12. Reading in the book of James, chapter 1, and we'll start our reading at verse 12. And it reads, Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Most High hath promised to them that love him.
See, a crown of life that he's promised. Y'all, we ain't dealing with a deadbeat dad. If we are, why we down here? He keeps his promises. You ain't got to keep sitting on the steps waiting for him, because he done told you, I'm telling you, when you gonna see your dad again. When you gonna see me again, don't be waiting on me too early. How your mama gonna sit you out there sitting on the steps? I didn't tell her I was coming this week to pick you up. I told you when I was coming back, but you got everything you need, right? I didn't run off like I'm going to get a loaf of bread. Y'all ain't seen me in 15 years. We just read Psalm 91.
Yes.
What he say gonna happen to you while I'm away on business.
We ain't gonna read all this, man, because we get up in the morning, we talk about patience and faith.
Well, no, I just wanted to get to the part that we're dealing with religion.
Okay.
You know, you understand what I'm saying? I know what you're saying. Yes, sir. I just want to get to the point for time's sake. Y'all read all of that what Zeb's saying.
Yeah. Verse 13.
What it say?
Let no man say when he is tempted.
Did you read verse 12?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
You wanted to keep?
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
Right. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yah. For Yah cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
So we have to understand he don't tempt with evil, y'all. This corona is not a temptation for us, y'all.
Right.
It's just things that happen before, things we supposed to watch for. He don't tempt man with evil. He don't put a coronavirus out here to see if we can get what's through it, to prove to the Christians that ain't no Hebrew got it. Most Hebrews don't know they got it.
Right.
Because it lay dormant. And then it's going to expose itself. Now, if you've been hacking, you'll see the difference. If you was hacking last week before the news came on, and you hacked this week, I'm talking about that same hack. Watch the look, it'd be different.
If you don't get threatened first.
Right.
Right, go ahead.
One of my coworkers was at Walmart.
Right.
And he said these 2 Chinese people came in with masks on, shut the whole Walmart down. People just left it stuck.
Boy, come on. Look. Look. Levi Raphael said sick people have a mask on. Well people don't need a mask.
That's right.
But you have to still not tempt the Lord.
Right.
You know, this virus is getting through the 3 ways: eyes, ears, nose, and throat. That's how it's coming in. That's what they check. They run that Q-tip thing with a wire on it about this long, straight up one nostril and down your throat and pull it back out. Next! That's what it's doing. It's got a little Q-tip on the end with a wire about that long. That's the test. It goes up your nostril and down your throat, and then they pull it back out.
I was wondering why we so
Call you in a few days to see if you got it.
You got it, they gonna have it.
I just quarantined myself to get that.
Yes, sir. Y'all, they have to get all of it because it's going to the lungs. It's affecting the lungs. They want to see how far it's in, where the most damage is at. Y'all, they ain't doing that for just happenstance to entertain the public. Y'all, over in Italy, y'all, it's cremation time. They say, fast as they coming, we cannot set up burial. We got to burn them. You get one look and they gone.
And they have something like 3,000.
Say 3,000. They loaded up with the deaths, y'all.
Because it's cooler.
It's hell over there.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Yeah, and it's cooler, but Russia ain't got the drama they having, but they got, y'all, because this is germ warfare, y'all. Y'all, it has to supersede money. It has to supersede food. It has to supersede drink. Those are the things you need to survive on planet Earth. The locust is doing the work on your veggie diet. Ain't nothing left. And if the locust hit Ohio, it ain't gonna be a lettuce to be found. Nothing green. They're eating up everything. Just look at the map. They show this is the green before they got here 2 days ago, and this is what it looks like now. Y'all just Google the pages and see what a force. We looking at it, man, ain't no grasshoppers eating like that. But when you see the devastation of this, they're trying to bang on pots to scare them away. Bang, bang, they ain't doing nothing. And like Jake said, they're them bull locusts. Like one African was beating on a pan, one of them bull locusts flew right up his skirt. Now we saw some world record speed then. Let's get some more, y'all. What you got to do about, Theo?
When they come, the swarm come, they eat clothes off the line, they ate the wool off of sheep.
Y'all have to understand.
They ate the wood off the wood tree.
Y'all,
They ate the wood off the wood too.
y'all look at what type of locusts these are. They're the same ones in the book of Exodus.
Right.
Y'all, they're yellow and black. These are some monsters that get busy, y'all. And they eat up everything green in 30 seconds. They can eat half of North St. Louis up in 30 seconds. All the green. Huh?
They'll be sick then.
Yeah, right. There'll be some with some high blood pressure. And right, let's get it, y'all.
Verse 14.
What it say?
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Of his own what?
Lust.
And see, y'all, perilous time, man. Lust is telling you people over here. Them niggas may not know what they talking about. Hell, we could be into full tribulation, y'all. We may be on the back end of it. So they peep and look. Faith is the God weak. He done warned us. Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Didn't he say that?
Yes,
What you looking up there for? Ain't nothing you gonna be dealing with up there. Everything you dealing with is going to take place on planet Earth. So why the scientists keep going to Mars and the moon? Why that talk is still there when everything, he said, I go to prepare a place for you. I saw a new Jerusalem coming down to Mars. I saw a new Jerusalem coming down on the moon. Where did the new Jerusalem seen coming down to? That's heaven on earth.
That's right.
Why are we dismayed at the signs of heaven? Watch as well as pray, but we can't be worried about what shoot across the sky. Let's read some more.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
And in what?
Enticed.
Y'all see, is there's a drawing away and then there's an enticement. Which one do you like the better? See, that's how the devil works. Hurry up and get you right there and then show you both. Which one you look better? I think this one will look better on you. What about this one though? This one does match the shoes you got on. See, he put it out there real quick for you. Give me that wickedness. Let's read some more.
Verse 15. Then, when lust hath conceived.
When lust hath done what?
Conceived.
What is conception? To make pregnant. Lust implanted a seed in you. You got a baby in your belly of lust. I'm talking about men too. Because the desire's in the stomach.
It's about to manifest.
Boy, it's about to show itself. Go ahead.
It bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
What sin did this man commit that he was born blind? Me and Tuba were talking about that. None at that part, because the Messiah was doing something supernatural with that individual, where they always knew that if a man was born blind, it was because one of the parents was sinning.
Right.
Now, if two parents got syphilis and they have a baby, what's going to happen to that baby when it's born? It will have no sight. But the sin that the parents committed was bringing forth a baby, and there's contamination. There's Leviticus 15 ain't been taken care of properly. The washing and the set aside. Don't y'all know everything they doing? We got this on all the books of the laws, and we gonna get to them. We get to them. That where you had to set aside certain days if you had leprosy.
Right,
We may get into a little bit just Leviticus 13, just so we see that. What we're talking about is when you're being what did he quarantined? We had to quarantine Miriam, didn't we? Yes, when we came out of Egypt, she was turned to a leper. How many days we quarantined her? 7 days, and we couldn't move.
7 days without the camp.
Right.
Before she could come back in and everybody look, yeah, she clean. Look, her eyebrows can turn back too. Because when you turn into a leper, your eyebrows change color too. Her turned completely blonde.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all thought that was Dennis Rodman. No, that was 2,000 years ago. Let's get some more, y'all. Where at?
Verse 16.
What it say?
Do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above,
Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. Go ahead.
and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning.
Quiet them shoulders down. Go ahead.
Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creature.
That's right.
Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of Yah.
For the wrath of man do what?
Worketh not the righteousness of Yah.
Yes, sir.
Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness an engrafted word, which is able to save your soul.
See, this is a saving soul mission, y'all. This is not a saving the flesh mission. Nothing you can do with this flesh. Job was a perfect example of it. And he was hit with plagues, y'all, balls on him. The flesh was through, y'all, but the soul was still fully intact. Anybody that's in a coma or paralyzed, their soul is in full working order, because it still has to face judgment. It's not going to be crippled. There'll be no crippled souls at the judgment. You won't be at the judgment if you like to drink or you hooked on heroin. Your soul ain't hooked on heroin. That's flesh that's begging for heroin, that's begging for a drink, that's begging for crack. That's fleshly lust. Your soul don't desire them because it can't live off of them. It lives off eternal light and instruction. That's what feeds it. That's what gives it its power. Let's read some more.
Verse 22.
What it say?
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only,
See that? Go ahead.
deceiving your own self.
See, so when you see somebody talk a good game but ain't never doing nothing, always show up late at the doing event and then leave early before the doing event is over. Masters at it.
Yeah.
Everybody else sweating, they coming in. How you come to do work in pants sagging and shorts in the in weeded area? You got on a short sleeve shirt? Hey, we gonna spend 2 hours putting the itching medicine on you. Let's read some more.
Verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
Right.
For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty.
See, there's a perfect law of liberty, y'all. I want y'all to understand when the Most High say he gives us liberty, and that means just it's part of grace and everything else that allows you not to be under the bondage of the schoolmaster. Liberty allows you to move to another elevated issue because you got everybody around. You got to always remember what the gospel is about. It's to teach this word to every nation on the planet, that they might be saved. That don't mean that they're going to get the inheritance that you got, but that's what the gospel is. It ain't nothing else. What you read in the gospel, and go to the nations and tell them, you are damned, get ready for it. Your servitude has been changed to my brother. He'll be the servant. Where you reading that at?
Right.
But that's what they teach and that's what they practice, that that's what's going to happen. Go ahead, bro.
I tell people, everybody, Most High give everybody a chance to repent. He give everybody a chance to get out of the judgment that's come to them. Everybody.
He created all.
See, and when we read Psalm 83 about him tormenting them with tornadoes, the whole thing, if you overlook verse 16 of Psalm 83, you wasting your time. If somebody just read verse 16, but we keep reading. Psalm 83, 16, just give me, because that's the whole reason he's bringing the storms on them. There's a reason he's doing it. He's not doing it because he ain't got nothing else to do. Let me see who I can destroy today other than Israel. How about this nation over here? Yeah, I created them to be destroyed. Let me take them out today.
That's crazy.
What it say?
He didn't create nothing that he hated.
Right. What verse 16 says?
83.
Yeah.
It says, fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name.
That they may do what?
Seek thy name, O Lord.
See, 1 through 15 telling you why he's doing it, but 16 explains it so that they may seek his face. What are they seeking his face for if you already damned? What you gonna do? Seek his face to listen to your punishment?
Right.
You gonna turn all this come to me so you can turn and say, oh, I was created for this, right? Oh, okay. See, and that's what we're talking about, y'all. Vain philosophies and the tricks to switch real quick because they don't like how the Messiah is dealing with the individual. They want to see what happened in slavery back to these individuals. He like, you ain't experienced none of this. You don't know what this talking. This serious. Let's get some more, y'all. Let's get caught up. We ain't got nothing about an hour. Go ahead.
Verse 25.
What it say?
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein.
See, there's another part to say continue. You got to graduate. You can't look into the perfect law of liberty and you back to what you was doing and the Bible is on the shelf with all the rest of your books like you done read this, like this is just comparable to all them other books you got up there. The Bible. How I suckered the flock next to it. Ties unworthily next to it. Go ahead, bro.
He being not a forgetful hearer.
Not a what?
Not a forgetful hearer. But a doer of the work. This man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious.
Seem to be what?
Religious. And bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart. This man's religion is vain.
See, so when we look at religion, the script saying if he can't bridle his tongue, that's vain religion. That's worthless religion. And bridling the tongue means don't say nothing you ain't supposed to say. Because you can blaspheme the Holy Spirit and there's no pardon for sin, is it? See, so this is what we're talking about, y'all. You can't bridle your tongue. You got a Negro finna go to penitentiary right now calling himself the Holy Spirit. He couldn't bridle his tongue. Y'all think about that. I want y'all to really think about who this individual claims he is. If you're looking at it, he the one saying, I overshadowed Mary. Christ is my baby. His name is General Yohana. If you look at the whole scheme of what they promote. Let's read some more.
They let people out of jail. Y'all hear that?
They have to let people out of jail. Now y'all think about that too. There's criminals on the streets now. Y'all, it's lockdown time. You locked down, they ain't knowing nothing about being in the house. They want to be in your house. You think this gonna change they mind?
Nope. Shoot, they still committing murders.
Boy, that's right. The Baltimore police chief have said, well, y'all please quit killing and shooting people. We ain't got hospital beds for this, nor do we have jail cells left.
Not only that, they just sent out an order saying that police will not respond to certain crimes unless they are high emergency crimes. They said do not call the police for
domestic violence.
Right.
Domestic violence, robberies, and they say only if it's in progress.
Because we crazy.
Or they're coming.
They was calling 911 because didn't nobody have no more toilet paper. They like, y'all
department because we do not serve toilet paper.
Right. They can't get it. They like, what's going on? Can y'all bring toilet paper? Y'all got Narcon for the dope act, but y'all ain't got no toilet paper y'all can bring with you. Right. What the hell is 911 for? Let's finish this, y'all. Let's get some more of this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 27.
What it say?
Pure religion and undefiled before Yah and the Father is this.
See, y'all, let's get to the point. It says pure religion. It's something called pure. That means it don't have any additives. It has no stain. It's unblemished. And he's going to tell you what pure religion is. The study of the supernatural being. Go ahead. What it say then?
To visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction. And to keep himself unspotted from the world.
See, if you do them two things, you love your neighbor as yourself. See, those are still just breaking down the greatest two commandments. Yo, it seems like it's simple, which it is. But this is the pure religion. If you're seen doing this, you are a doer of the word. You just ain't heard about this. You are a doer of the word. Visit the sick and these things in their affliction. This is what he said. Until you learn how to do this, y'all ain't no part of the kingdom, because that's all the kingdom is about. Brothers learning how and then love each other. This is what it's about. Ain't no hating going on in the kingdom. Ain't none of that going on in the kingdom to come. You got to learn how to practice that now with your brother. That don't mean just because he's an Israelite. This is talking about spirit and truth. Right. This is why we talk about a hearer and a doer. Just because he is Israel, he may not be a doer.
Right. But you said that's how you proclaim the kingdom throughout the world. You live by kingdom law right now. That's how you proclaim the kingdom, by living by the law. And then once you do that consistently, then 15 and 16 have to go away, 1:14 have to apply. 2 Chronicles 7:14 have to apply. When you live by kingdom law, because it's proclaimed already.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, bro. And that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, he's gonna be up there. Unspotted from the world. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Unspotted from the world. It's like a deacon, blameless. What we're talking about is the world can't point their finger at you and dim the light of glory, dim the light of the gospel. That means unspotted from the world. See, when the world gets you, you on every newspaper. You're talked about when it's gone away. Bill Clinton got spotted from the world. He's still facing the wrath of Monica Lewinsky with the activity in the Oral Office. Let's get it, y'all.
Where you going? That's it, baby.
Okay, that's it on that. 2nd Ezra chapter 4. Y'all, what we're talking about again is Bible fact. And y'all, we're going to get right into the wisdom of the matter versus the wisdom or magic of the science keepers. See, because they would tell Pharaoh, can't no man do that, Pharaoh. He like, what I'm paying y'all for? We're going to make sure we hit that. He like, what I'm paying y'all for? See, when you ask that, you got a plumber with you, but he ain't never unclogged nothing. He clogged up. Boy, that greens and boy, that chicken, boy, that kind of got me stuffed up.
Greens and chicken should have been mixed.
Yeah, it should have.
Green chicken.
Green chicken?
No, green chicken. No, if it's that chicken, no, I'm just saying, yeah, it's going to relieve you one way or the other.
You be sick.
Where we at, y'all? 2nd Ezra, y'all, we in the Apocrypha.
Start at 1.
2nd Ezra, yeah, 4 and 1. Go ahead, you get it.
You need one?
No, let me know. I get it a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I can't put it on the board on the computer just for a trip.
Go ahead, 2nd Ezra.
All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 1.
How we looking out there, y'all? We in the Apocrypha, y'all. And y'all, what we're talking about is the wisdom and the science or the knowledge of the Most High. He's finna tell you about some science of the earth. We're gonna see some things that he challenged the wise men of Teman to figure out. See, he makes them call back on him. See, because they can't handle supernatural, because all the theories go out the window when you see an F5 rolling toy. What theory you gonna use at that point? Huh? Get your degree out, Willie. You graduate from Harvard, didn't you? What we gonna do about this tornado coming toward us? Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 1. And the angel that was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, gave me an answer, and said, Thy heart hath gone too far in this world, and thinkest thou to comprehend the way of the Most High?
He like, look, you done went too far. Your theories and different things is out of context with what's happening on planet Earth. You way off base with this basic stuff. You think you can know what the Most High is doing, huh? Well, he gonna get some answers. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3. Then said I, Yea, my Lord. And he answered me and said, I am sent to show thee 3 ways, and to set forth 3 similitudes before thee. Whereof if thou canst declare me one, I will show thee also the way that thou desirest to see.
See, so now he tells, look, from just your basic understanding, then I'm going to show you supernatural. I just want to see where your thought process is at. And y'all, and that's what Elijah was explaining when we was talking about that question was that you just can't fire off questions because somebody throws something. You're locked and loaded because you think they may be coming from that perspective. See what angle they coming from. See if you hear non-messianic. You can't give them messianic instruction for a non-messianic. It ain't going to work. You got to let a non-messianic explain who he's saying will be the coming Messiah. You ain't got nobody. Everybody you done said is showing fault and their blemish. Hezekiah, King Solomon, King David. Who else you gonna bring up? Who else on the table that you can bring up or you can show? Now it's their job to find in the prophecies where it said, and he shall be found blemished. He shall be conceived and born. No, that ain't in there, is it? Let's read some more.
And thou shalt show thee from whence the wicked heart cometh. And I said, Tell on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, Go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire.
See, this is what he say. If you really good, you got some scientists on land. Tell me the weight of fire. Somebody in here, come on. Give me your hand, somebody. We pour a little olive oil, but I want to just how much weight. Set it on fire and you tell me what that weight. Look at that fire! What he said again, read that again.
Verse 5. And I said, Tell on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, Go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire, or measure me the blast of the wind, or call me again the day that is past.
See, the questions he's asking him are the powerful questions that scientists can't answer. Show me the blast of wind. Y'all, they can't show you the blast of wind. Because the blast of wind, they can only measure it to this point, and they can't measure anything beyond that. They just have to say it's of biblical proportions. We have no measurement for that. They're telling you that our scientific theories cannot deal with the scientific fact that the Most High is putting down. You say F5, they say our measuring stick only go up to 250 miles an hour of wind. After that, it's called the hand of God.
Right.
How you ain't gonna get paid if your car get flipped over? What they call it? An act of who? They like Lil Willie them in a high-speed chase ain't gonna flip you like this. If they hit you running through a stop sign, you ain't gonna get this. They're not gonna hit your car hard enough that it's on the top of Kmart. It's a different force. It's way past 130 horses in that Impala. No, these some serious horsepower coming. And it sounds like a locomotive. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
Then answered I and said, What man is able to do that thou shouldest ask such things of me?
You see what he asked him? He like, what man can do this? Who on the table? Who can measure fire? Let's try it. Richard Pryor tried it. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 7. And he said unto me, if I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, or which are the outgoings of paradise, peradventure thou wouldest say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell, neither did I ever climb up into heaven. Nevertheless, now have I asked thee but only of the fire and wind, and of the day wherethrough thou hast passed, and of things from which thou canst not be separated, and yet canst thou give me no answer of them.
See, so verse 8, he said, I know this is impossible for you, but I'm asking you about verse 9 and you still can't do that. That's what he said. He said, I can't even do verse 9. See, what you talking about up there, I can't even weigh fire. So Lord, you put me in a spot that where I can't, you pushing me into theories. He said, no, I'm just letting you know how far man can go. Man is getting all his knowledge from Lucifer. Lucifer got his knowledge from the Most High. Somehow, some way he figured the clay can take over the potter. I can do to him. It's just like this AI, y'all. They keep saying robots gonna take over humans, ain't they? They saying the artificial man is finna take over. Let's read some more.
Verse 10.
What it say?
He said moreover unto me, thine own things and such as are grown up with thee canst thou not know. How should thy vessel then be able to comprehend the way of the highest? And the world being now outwardly corrupted, to understand the corruption that is evident in my sight.
See, the Most High say, it's evident that this is sin to me. That's why y'all got a plague on earth right now. We don't see it. We looking for, okay, the white man did this, CDC put it out there. All of those may be absolutely fact, but the question is, what is their end game? Is it population control? Well, they have no problem with what race that's included in the population control, because it ain't all Israel, is it?
No.
Sure can't say that, can we? Because a host of Chinese getting burned up this morning. And over in Italy, ain't it? Let's get some more.
Verse 12. Then said I unto him, it were better that we were not at all, than that we should live still in wickedness, and to suffer, and not to know wherefore. He answered me and said, I went into a forest, into a plain, and the trees took counsel, and said, come, let us go and make war against the sea, that it may depart away before us, and that we may make us more wood. The floods of the sea also in like manner took counsel, and said, come, let us go up and subdue the woods of the plain, that there also we may make us another country.
So you got the sea and the woods basically saying, let's see which one can overpower the other. Which one can the woods overpower the sea? Can the sea overpower the woods? You know, now these are earthly things having a discussion. And it's the angel just running his mind to see where he thinks with things on earth. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 16. The thought of the wood was in vain, for the fire came and consumed it. The thought of the floods of the sea came likewise to naught, for the sand stood up and stopped them.
See, so all the rivers run into the sea, but yet the sea is not full. The borders of the sea know not to let the sea pass. Right. This is all it's saying. Look, you can walk out almost 2 blocks into the ocean before it just drops off. It's the same level almost. Now you go past that, and them currents get in there, and you're trying to swim straight forward, and the currents is going this way. You have to swim like this, don't you, Nerf? Yeah. Nerf went to Miami and got out there in that water and was trying to swim straight back from that 12th and Park training, but he wasn't going nowhere but in the same spot till he started going at the angle that the current was going. And you may be 3 or 4 blocks down at the other end, but you can make your way back to where you can stand up and get out of the current and get out of there. That's how most people drown, because they think the ocean is doing the same thing as the swimming pool. It don't work that way. That boy slept his whole vacation. Because it'll trick you, it'll fool you. Let's get some more.
Verse 18.
What it say?
If thou wert judged now between these two, whom wouldest thou begin to justify, or whom wouldest thou condemn? I answered and said, verily it is a foolish thought that they both have desired. Devised. For the ground is given unto the wood, and the sea also hath his place to bear his floods. Then answered he me and said, thou hast given a right judgment, but why judgest thou not thyself also?
See, if you can make a judgment for water, then why we can't make judgment about ourselves to save our own soul? You know what was good for that, but yet for your own soul. You know why? Because that flesh said, don't you believe that BS? You know you want to get out there, put that cologne on, and put them 2 tight shoes on that last about 3 hours in the club, because you ain't gonna need but 2 hours and 30 minutes for what I got planned for you. Get ready! Go ahead, bro.
Verse 21.
What it say?
For like as the ground is given unto the wood, and the sea to his floods, even so they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth. And he that dwelleth above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the height of the heavens.
See, this is why it's telling us don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. There's some understanding up there. What is it going to benefit you? You were given 2 great lights and lights for night. Sun, moon, and stars. The sun to rule the day, the moon, the lesser light to rule the night. And he also gave us the star. Y'all, other than that, what other basically cohabitation or cohesiveness that you have with these elements other than what they're designed for? To give light by day and shoot out a ton of vitamin D to you. That's what it's for. And the moonlight do some things too. It calms the ocean down. It changes women when they get around a certain time. This thing has power. That's what they're designed to do. They keep, they are. But this thing called man, it's got some problems. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Then answered I and said, I beseech thee, O Lord, let me have understanding. For it was not my mind to be curious of the high things, but of such as pass by us daily, namely, wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach to the heathen, and for what cause the people whom thou hast loved is given over unto ungodly nations, and why the law of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect. And we pass away out of the world as grasshoppers, and our life is astonishment and fear, and we are not worthy to obtain mercy. What will he then do unto his name, whereby we are called? Of these things have I asked. Then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasteneth fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmity.
What is this world full of?
Unrighteousness and infirmity.
Sicknesses. Go ahead.
But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. For the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning.
From who? The grain of evil seed been sown since when?
The beginning. And how much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time. And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth.
See, so now we're getting into Hosea 10:13. You have eaten the fruit of lies. So we understand the eating that was taking place in the garden. Fruit of lies that don't prosper. Go eat.
Verse 32. And when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they feel? Then I answered and said, how and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? And he answered me, saying, do not thou hasten above the Most High, for thy haste is in vain to be above him, for thou hast much exceeded.
See, don't be hasty to get above the Most High. See, and that's what men are doing. That's why respect of person is such a dangerous plague. Y'all talking about a sickness and a plague that'll jump on you. It's that one. Go eat.
Verse 35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward?
Revelation 6 and 9. How long before you judge them on planet Earth? And what was given to them? White robes and a palm in their hand to seal their salvation. Don't worry about it. We got another what you've been through has to take place before this thing goes down. And y'all, and it said, until your fellow servants be killed like you were. See, that's why we got to be certain, y'all, that we don't tempt the Lord. You know, this virus could be to kill some saints. So it ain't like we immune from it. It's that if our soul is immune from it. Flesh may get hit with it. May do some coughing and sneezing because you know why? The lockdown gonna start tomorrow and we've been going carrying on with our everyday life like it ain't nothing. You don't know who got it. We still slap 5 down here, but you can't do like, hey, what's up? Hello, my brother. Go ahead, y'all.
Verse 36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer, and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times.
See, so he already know what day it's going to end on. He know how many people going to be on planet Earth. He even know the very number of hairs on your head. That's right. So y'all, look, we had 1/3 of the angels that failed, right? Yes. Look, 2/3 of us ain't going to get it. So the script say, is 1/3 going to get it? Does that replace the fallen angel? Because if it's 1/3, it's got to be 2/3, so it's got to be a whole number of angels. But it's too far for us to comprehend how many it is. See, 1/3 may not be 144,000. 1/3 may be what Revelation 6 and 9. And then I saw another number which I couldn't number. Right. Let's read some more.
And he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. Then answered I and said, O Lord that bearest rule, even we all are full of piety. Impiety. And for our sakes, peradventure it is that the floors of the righteous are not filled, because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth.
Because of the what?
Sins of them that dwell upon the earth.
Y'all see what constantly cause plague? You can't straighten out a plague of sin with any man-made devices, because it's the commandment of the Lord. You already know that he's destroying the world. The reason they give plagues other names like a tornado F6 or well, just say F4 and down, they'll call it Mother Nature. They'll call it somebody else. But when it reaches a certain number, they say we're handicapped at this point. This is the hand of God. It's got to be. The force of this I'm talking about something moving 600 miles an hour and 6 miles wide. With wind that can't be measured because they top off at 278 or something. You ever heard them say that tornado coming through at 300 miles an hour? It goes up to 400 miles an hour. Their radar's cut off at 250. They're like, ain't no life left at this point for us here on Earth. And you finna bring something that's doubling that speed? They showed a straw. I'm talking about a sipping straw went through a 2x4. Google it, y'all, if y'all don't believe it, through a tornado. I want y'all to picture a sipping straw of plastic went through a wooden 2x4.
Like a projectile.
Like they say, straws go through trees. Or go, be stuck on the tree.
Boy, come on. Read some up.
Verse 40.
What it say?
So he answered me and said, Go thy way to a woman with child, and ask of her, when she hath fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer within her.
So you think you can go to a woman and why don't you hold off? Man, that baby ready to come already. Why don't you just keep him 2 or 3 more months in there? Boy,
Been cussed out.
boy, you do better than look at a black woman's purse before you can say that. Go ahead,
Verse 42.
what it say?
Then said I, No, Lord, that can she not. And he said unto me, In the grave, the chambers of souls are like the womb of a woman. For like as a woman that travaileth maketh haste to escape the necessity of the travail, even so do these places haste to deliver those things that are committed unto them.
See, the grave got to give up the souls that are within it. Grave, that's what hell is. Hell is the grave, whether it is Abraham's bosom, is still called the grave. Right. See, because hell and death are cast into where? The lake of fire is not in hell. Hell gonna be in the lake of fire. That's right. Because they're cast in there, and that's the grave, because there'll be no more death. So we don't need hell no more. See, it's just when you got to be careful when you say, go to hell to somebody, you're basically saying, why don't you die? Because you're not sending them to the lake of fire. Right. If you know the difference. That's why the Messiah say it's better, you've not been born, or you face what's called hell fire. See, that's a difference in what he's talking about. He'll use hell, and then when he use hell fire, watch the language after. It's because it's tied to damnation. Hellfire, that means you going from the grave to the lake of fire. Can you imagine that? One stop, just to take a deep breath and get over there. Let's read some more.
Verse 40.
No, it can't last there.
Verse 43. From the beginning, look what thou desirest to see, it shall be showed thee. Then answered I and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet therefore, show me then whether there be more to come than is past, or more past than is to come.
See why we always want to know how much time done passed and how much more to go. See, does the heart want to know to continue to be right and figure it may die, or do it want to clown until 30 days before the cutoff point? What you think the flesh want to do? Be wicked. What? Yeah, long as it can. Look, why you think they call it the Mile High Club? Let's get one good rock before we crash. Y'all think about that mental mindset. They ain't talking about nothing else up in the Mile High Club. What you think they talking about? One last good rock before we crash and burn. Let's read some more.
Verse 46.
What it say?
What is past I know, but what is for to come I know not. And he said unto me, Stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto you. So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me. And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smokes remained still. After this there passed by before me a water cloud, and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the storm rain was past, the drops remained still. Then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke, but the drops and the smoke remain behind, so the quantity which is past did more exceed. Then I prayed and said,
y'all know what that means? Basically, it's saying it's short of time left. Right. It's short time. You on short time, y'all. We on short time. Go ahead, brother. Oh, sir. Huh? Your what?
Verse 51. Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou, until that time? Or what shall happen in those days? He answered me and said, as for the tokens whereof thou askest me, I may tell thee of them in part. But as touching thy life, I am not sent to show thee, for I do not know it.
Do y'all see what an angel told him? He said, I don't know what the end is for you. See, that's why we can't let no man judge us. An angel ain't gonna judge. He like, look, what's basically I'm here to tell you for is to get your mind straight right now. What you do with what I'm finna tell you is up to you. I don't see you. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, and I'm gonna give you all of this knowledge, but your head will be hard as Bokeem Woodbine and Jason. You won't listen. You go the way of the knuckleheads of old. See? He couldn't tell him that. He just say, I ain't telling you no more, but this basically what I'm telling you right now, what I showed you should clear your supernatural problem, that it's a creator. It didn't come from a big boom. It didn't come from evolution. It's called the theory of evolution. How do we not hear the word theory first? We suspect that it came from this. Man came from this. How? And you still got the very source you say it came from. Why do they still exist? And when do they turn into humans?
Right. Same thing with fish.
Right. What do we keep trying to figure out in this thing that we choose science, so falsely called, over the Most High's teaching? And you start saying words like universe versus the creator of the universe, like we started off, like it started off. Who created all things. The first creature, the very first one that was created was Messiah. See, when you understand these things from that standpoint, you're talking soul talk. All this other stuff is flesh talk, how a baby made. We know how a baby made. Most of the times, it's made in error for Israel. You said you weren't going to do nothing but put the covenant in. When you said you was on the peel, who's at fault?
Both of y'all.
Let's read some more, y'all. Let's get right to it. Y'all want to get in there? Who got a question?
Yeah, Imam Ray Elia was asking, under bondage, if schoolmaster, please expound for me, Elder Daniel Solomon. But basically what she's saying is expound her being under bondage and still being not being under the schoolmaster anymore.
If still in bondage, say no, you're under bondage if you're under the schoolmaster.
Okay.
Because you're chasing a shadow.
Right.
You're basically like, this is the same thing. This is bondage to chase what scientists are saying, because it's got everybody making a YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? If you study the prophecies, you know what it's at. You know we got shorter time than at the beginning of the world. We on short time, y'all. It's in the latter times. That means the last part, don't it? How you keep talking the last days, but you act like then you switch the script? If Ema is asking that question, you know, it's kind of, well, how is she wording it though?
Or the bondage of under.
Let's go to Galatians then, real quick. Galatians 4.
Or is she talking about the bondage under the Aaron, the order of Aaron?
That's what I
holding true to the laws, statutes, and judgments according to.
Well, see, that's priesthood change, y'all. Yeah. See, and what you have to talk about, Melchizedek is a heavenly priesthood. Right. It's because even when it comes on earth, it's still it's a priesthood that deals with heaven and earth. It's going to be like what was in the Garden of Eden. The heavens will open back up. We'll be able to see communication up there, what's going on like it was before Adam sinned. There was no brass put over to block the communications from the Most High. And portals have to open up for you to get it. It's going to be wide open again. You'll be able to, like Stephen said when he was getting stoned, his opened up for him. And he said, I see the Messiah sitting on the right hand of the Father. They like, boy, them bricks done got you crazy. Let's finish him off. This Negro crazy. He say he sees supernatural beings now. Somebody hit him in the head with another rock. Put him out his misery. So all those things are coming back for us, y'all, but we got to shake it off in this flesh. You're not going to see those things in this flesh because you're going to envy. If you see somebody you think is not greater than yourself, or you looking like, why is he there? Who let him in the kingdom? Then you go in with animosity. Now you start to weigh yourself compared to what he's done. Who gonna weigh themselves against the thief on the cross? Let's get it, y'all right back there? Okay.
They say, hey, we got that down.
Yeah. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. We're going right to, I want to just so we get in the understanding, y'all, what we're talking about here. It's science fact, and what we're talking about is what's going to get man through these terrible times that's coming up. Because there's nothing that we can do to stop it. The elements have already been given their orders what to do about sin. We got to fix sin again. We're not going to flood it with water no more. Y'all orders are to stay still. No more flood for y'all to take the water. Y'all orders of killing everybody on planet Earth is done. Fire, you up on deck. So now we got to get ourselves prepared for something that we know ain't no cure for. What are you going to do if a nuclear bomb drops? How are you going to breathe radiation that's 2,000 degrees? How do you breathe that? But we know we had an example of Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro and Abraham walking around in fire like they were part of the furnace. I'm talking about playing dominoes at fire. The king looked in there, he like, wait a minute. Didn't we put 3 in there? But it's 4 of them in there now. That's most I say, I'll be with y'all in anything. You just have to believe it. It's a supernatural thing. Your soul can do this. It was made in the image of God. Your soul, your flesh was made in the image of what it was taken of. So let's get that real quick, y'all. We're going to move on to these quick ones, y'all. We're going to get ready to close out. Genesis 2:7 and Genesis 3:19. We got them, Shorty Doo-Wop. Josh. Read it loud, Josh. And y'all, this is what the Most High say we are. So when y'all start hearing vain philosophies of carbon and melanin, and when you hear all of these things to change what sin is, even if you are the things, there's still commandments that all of these materials have to keep because they keep them. The rocks would cry out if the Most High said. He said, I had them holler. So when you start to change what we are to believe another doctrine and perilous in the last time, people gonna come and they're gonna be talking science foolishness and science fiction versus Bible fact. He said, y'all can tell me the deepest part of the ocean, Israel would be, y'all nigger problem would be off the table. You know the deepest they ever been is over in Madrid. It's 8 miles deep. And they only know that by sonar trying to shoot down a submarine can't even go that far. It'll crush it like a can. Yeah. And guess what? There's tropical life living down there. Yeah. Why does it not get crushed? Huh? It got orders. The sea know what to do, but it will crush you like a can of summer. They can't even go get the Titanic 2 miles down. Lied about it, said it was iceberg proof, sink proof. The Most High told that iceberg, pull that razor out, that sharp piece of ice. Put that ice on the hole.
Say, tore through that pad.
Boy, tore through that like hot butter through, like a knife through hot butter.
Boy, ripped it
to shreds. And it's still on the bottom of the ocean, only 2 miles down. They done had movies about blowing it back up to the top.
They say they can't move it. They say it's there. If they even try to attempt, it'll just almost disintegrate. Just
Well, they ain't got nothing stationary to do it. You got cranes on a ship. You pulling it up, you gonna pull yourself down.
all that's gonna tumble in there.
Oh, Marcus Collins saying National Guard locking down certain streets in LA as we speak.
They locking them down?
Only in the hood though.
Yeah.
Well, see, they know where there's gonna be trouble at, y'all. Look, they recruiting looting supervisors. I want 3 of y'all over at Dollar General. 4 of y'all go hit Family Dollar. They know looting supervisors is giving orders as we speak.
And they said they wanted to get them in place before looting and rioting started.
That's what they doing.
That's why they putting them in the hood first.
Right.
Because they think Israel gonna, but they know they are the leaders in looting and rioting. They loot and riot when they just win a sports game.
Yeah, you're right.
And they call it a celebration.
They do it first. They start the shit too, still
Oh, I got a question for the elders. You know, the word said, if any sickness come among us, call for the elders of the church. So can we come to y'all if we get
Well, you come to our house. No, we have to come to you.
I'll video pray for you.
Right.
On Skype.
Right. But y'all have to understand, we gonna make sure we hit Mark 16, that none of these things can come on to stop the power of God. Y'all have to understand what you're saying. The power of Most High is not gonna be stopped by a virus.
Right, that's right.
So that's why he put us on it. And every example, it was an Israelite to show the power of the Most High, that it supersedes all viruses.
That's right.
Y'all looking at it as always sickness, but man worship is a virus.
That's a sickness.
Do y'all understand the sickness that it caused, the souls that it take? See, he didn't tell us beware of corona. He told us beware of what? The leavening of who? That will prevent you from getting in the kingdom. Coronavirus kill you. You can be prayed up and it attacks the flesh and get you out of here. But you prayed up.
Get the soul.
You understand what I'm saying? It didn't get the soul. But man worship, go ahead.
Job suffered from everything.
Job did.
He had the plagues. The plagues came upon him. But he said, I ain't worried about a plague because I know my soul will see my maker.
That's right. I know my Redeemer liveth.
So he wasn't sweating the plague, even though he had it. But he came out greater in substance than he was before the plague.
Yes, sir.
Because of his faith.
You think about it, I think we are going to be better off. Because, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on. Mortgages getting pushed back.
No, all that's just holding time.
Hey, if you think you're getting out of a mortgage, you
you get some break.
No, they said you're giving a cutoff time.
right now.
No, they understand this. They saying the only way you're going to live, the expectation to take the mark of the beast.
That's it.
That's it. That's the only shot you got. We're preparing. Look, this is why it's without excuse. The devil is showing you what y'all getting ready to face if he is behind this coronavirus. They're showing you because he had to get his soldiers in order.
I think it's a test run.
It could be a test run. It could be the tip of the iceberg, but y'all know it ain't yet because y'all still flipping through cable channels.
Right.
Yep.
You can still go to the store and get food.
Yeah.
Plenty of food over there, ain't we eat?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yep.
But somebody go get us a couple rolls of toilet paper. The end is not yet. Let's read it, Joshua. You got it? Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Y'all, let's get it. We're going to close on out soon. Go ahead.
And the Lord,
Read a little bit louder, Joshua.
and the Lord,
Hold it down, y'all. Joshua, read. Read louder, Joshua.
Lord Yahuwah planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed.
Go ahead.
Wait, no.
Verse 8.
I was reading 8.
Huh? Okay, 7 and 8.
Yahuwah formed man of the dust of the ground.
What did he form him of?
Dust of the ground.
Of the dust of the ground.
Uh-huh.
And breathed into his nostrils became the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
So when he breathed into him, then he became a living soul, but he formed him from the dust of the ground. So what is man made of?
Dust.
Don't say dirt, because dust is the residue of dirt. See, you ain't got no dirt. Your TV ain't made out of dirt, is it? But what be on that screen if you ain't wiped it in a couple? Huh? And dust is basically the residue or nothing. So he made us from the least particles of that, from nothing basically. Because you can't see dust until you do like this.
And then he said that your life is but a vapor.
But a vapor.
Right. You do like that, it's gone. It's gone.
See, he just didn't take a scoop out of dust, a piece of big hunk of dust. He said from dust, the residue, what was left on top of planet Earth, that's what he made you out of, basically nothing. Because you're going back to basically nothing. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, what did it say, Joshua, in Genesis 3:19? Did you finish 2 and 8?
Yep.
Okay, go Genesis 3:19 for me, Joshua.
In the sweat of thy face shalt eat thou bread, thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and dust shalt now thou return.
See, so dust thou art, and dust shalt thou return. See, ain't no need you talking about carbons. Ain't no need you talking about melanin. Dust you made out of, and dust you gonna return to. All of that other mumbo jumbo is wasting your time. You gonna turn back to dust. They don't give you, if you get cremated, oh, here's the iron of melanin, and I'm telling you, it's profitable. And you can rub some of this on you right here, and across that light spot on your forehead, Uncle Junior's melanin in this. Or is it dust in there? What is it?
You don't want Uncle Junior.
It's gonna be a black stain up here. But if y'all understand what I'm saying here, y'all, all of the other talk of what you're made up, everything that you're given to, like the herbs from the earth, or to work on the body, most of those things the body already got into it. It already produced DMT. Your body produces peroxide. Your body produces so many things that's already in the earth. The herbs just maintain it and keep those things at a certain level, but they're made of dust. They're not made of carbons and atoms from outer space. Because then you would say the food that I'm eating is correcting my soul. You're not feeding the soul with fleshly food. You feed the flesh that. If that was the case, fasting would be impossible. Because when you fast, you're eating spiritually.
That's right.
How do you go 40 days and 40 nights? 960 hours with nothing to eat or drink. And here we on a clock watching mission on the Day of Atonement. 23 hours and 45 minutes. You got the pizza place on speed dial. 24 hours and and we're talking about 960 hours.
Yeah, for the math on that, didn't you,
Boy, come on. Where we at? Okay, we finished those two. Just wanted y'all to understand that. Now y'all just want to get into the wisdom and make the comparisons of just some things, y'all, so we get some understanding. First, I just want to clear up a thing that what we talked about demons, y'all, because this is what it's talking to. This is what it's coming down to, y'all. We're finna see demon activity at a high level. Mm-hmm. You're going to see that brother hit the apocalypse of Elijah was powerful, y'all. The man of sin, it matches up with 2 Thessalonians.
Yes, sir.
He's going to do what's called miracles, y'all. There's people going to be tricked and believe that that's the Messiah. But he's not going to crack the heavens, y'all. It said he's going to block the sun, but he can't do them all at one time. And they say, you know what else he ain't going to be able to do? Resurrect.
That's right.
So it's letting us know, 2 Thessalonians, the lost books are letting us know the man of sin is coming who's going to do miracles that's going to supersede the miracles that were done in Egypt. Y'all, when you conjure up a demon, this is why he's saying you cannot drink the cup of devils. Idols is a totally different thing. Idols don't matter. Idols are not to be worshipped because it's vain worship. I'm talking about, well, a demon can do something else to you. It has power to make you change or break. It didn't cast 7 idols out of you. It cast demons out of Mary Magdalene. Right. Everybody says she was a whore. Ain't one scripture that say Mary Magdalene was a whore. It says she had 7 demons on her. And they got cast out.
That's why you
wherever do you read, right? Do you ever see Mary Magdalene was a whore? What writings? 7 demons in her though. Y'all know the lady that had me in there walking with the grocery cart? Point that Whoopi Goldberg finger she pointed at, what's his name? Danny Glover. You like that's the devil woman. Why does that scare you? Because we believe in science fiction versus science fact. Negroes so scared they'll tear the tag off of everything, but there ain't the toughest nigga to tear the tag off a mattress. Ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it. Scared to death to tear a tag off a mattress because they say if you remove this tag, there's penalties and fines. You will flip on it as pissy as hell, but you will not tear the tag off of it. What you got, sis?
I just want to, last week in class when Michael took us to the Apocalypse Bible, and when they were reading last week, it said that the Son of Lawlessness will do everything that Christ will do, but he cannot give life and he cannot raise the dead.
Y'all understand that? We're at a different level. Yes. So a demon can never be Big Mama. Well, that's not Big Mama. The best he gonna do, and y'all have to understand, they're familiar spirits. They have to come back what's familiar to you. If Big Mama in heaven, ain't nobody in here seen them glistening robes yet that the saints receive. So why don't the demons ever come back in what's righteous? They got on the same clothes, either they were buried in your vision or just something they used to have on. You ain't never seen them come back. They maybe come back in an 8-ball jacket before they'll come back in white robes. Have you ever seen them say somebody come back like that? No. If Big Mama, you know she looking down on you, what does she, is she in the arena of all people with all white watching the game? No, the only way you remember them, you remember them in dreams, you remember the last thing they had on or an event that y'all was with. Or you have to see, yeah, that's that shirt I bought him right there for his birthday. Yeah, you know, right there, he was cool, he liked that. But I'm talking about, have anybody in any vision when they say they came back from heaven, did you see them in what the clothing is described? If you ain't this vain philosophy, push it out of your mind. Why do you entertain it? What you want to ask them? Hey, I'm gone. Anybody up there, man, named Pearlie Mae Johnson? You didn't see nobody up there. Pearlie Mae Johnson. I mean, we're to this point that we actually want to believe a lie. And soon as somebody dies, we automatically put them up there. Right. Where everywhere the Bible say, they ain't there. They really ain't up there. Right. When there is going to be here.
All our hopes, all our aspirations, all our emotions, everything.
You know what it say like. Let's get it, y'all. Daniel chapter 1 through 4. Y'all, I'm going to hit some quick hitters. Y'all, and then we're going to finish it off. All these going to finish off in quick hitters so we can get on out of here. But what I want to do, give me Jeremiah 10. I'll get this also for Imam and also for Sister Batel. Because we talk about idols, y'all, and we talk about they're nothing. Y'all, idols are nothing. Look, if you that concerned about idols, take that money out of your pocket, because it ain't a piece of idol on planet Earth got more idols on it than that money. and cast it from you.
Cast it to me. I'll get rid of it for you.
I get rid of that wicked, filthy.
See, so if you give that a pass and you say it don't mean nothing, I'm using it as a defense, you can't give this more power than what you got in your pocket. Which one has the most power, a Christmas tree or them dollars in your pocket? Can you go drive by a drive-through and they say your order be $5.95 and you throw that miniature Christmas tree through there? Right. Fire that back out there and be stuck in your head. Give me that damn money, take this order and get the hell out of here.
Cut you out like the Gleaner Circle up in Chicago.
Come on, boy.
It depends if you can smoke that tree. See, now if you can smoke the tree, they might take it.
You can say what you want, man. Jeremiah 10:1. Y'all, and the reason I'm going here is because this is a favorite of everybody that attacked one time a year. You're talking about idol worship, y'all. It still has to come with instructions, but it's still vain. It's not demonic worship. That's a total different story. When you give a demon who's supposed to be listening to you, you give it power over you. It then controls you. That's what it's been dying to do. You control demons. Demons know the rules. They even know the time periods. When the Messiah casts a demon out, they're like, you early. It ain't time yet. You come to torment us before the what? And we guessing that time. They like, you early. He like, okay. See y'all still up on game with y'all wicked. Going out there that herd of swine, jumping them. And y'all know it was a supernatural deal because it scared the people that was shepherding them, they're herding them. They took off running at high speed. I'm talking about a demon jumped on a pig and he was growling and biting on the other 10 while they charged into the river. They biting and devouring one another.
Ran violently down the cliff.
Y'all know what that is? I'm talking about you're running violently to your death, biting and savaging and goring, and all of them drowned in the sea.
Even they scared of him.
But yet the only thing died was pig flesh. So you know what them demons did? Swam right underwater.
Yep.
See, and when we're talking about, I'm gonna say this and move on. Like we're talking about, what was that? Zechariah 5:9 about all their female angels. Well, if he made man, Genesis started off 26:7. He said he made them male and female in the image of God. He said male and female. So what y'all got to ask yourself is, where did the image of a woman come from that he made out of your rib? So, and then you got the deal, you got Book of Enoch 19:1-3 tells you that the offspring of those giants, the females, will become sirens. S-I-R-E-N-S. Y'all know what sirens are?
They sing, the one that sing.
No. Mermaids.
Oh, okay.
Or succubuses. See, there's sightings of them. There's recorded sightings of them. All throughout here, y'all, those are demonic. Those are the things, those are the demons that come upon you. So, but it says they're women. If they're from the fallen angels, what would that make them? Even though they're wicked, they're demonic, it's a female demonic angel, ain't it? Yes. And if he says there's no marriage in heaven, if you dead when the second coming happened, you'll be resurrected. It said, what if she had 5 husbands? Which one gonna be her husband in the kingdom? None of them, for you are like the angels, your brothers and sisters. So if they're like the angels as brothers and sisters, then there's got to be female angels as brothers and sisters in heaven. They're just not doing war work.
So if
women angels don't do war work. Go ahead, Elijah.
In the beginning, Adam, then came Eve. Before the transgression.
Right.
If they were immortal in their creation, angelic form without sin, then what was Eve? So Eve
compared to.
Right.
Eve couldn't be just compared to just a fleshly woman if she's in the same kingdom as Adam, created and brought to him. So he's gonna bring a fleshly woman of sin to a spiritual man.
Right.
Okay. Oh, it makes sense.
See, so some things we want, like I say, some things we just wanted to tell it just like this, but if you watch the pattern of the Most High, some things he wants you to learn through what's called consistency.
Right.
Dark always come before light. Go ahead, Elisha.
No,
You understand what I'm saying? So you don't get caught up in did the Sabbath start in the morning, did it start in, what's the consistency? How does the next world start? What are we coming out of? The sun and the moon finna be dark, ain't it? So darkness is coming before what? Light again. So there's a consistent pattern.
Right, sir.
That even if you say, well, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. Go ahead and say it started morning. The evening and the morning were the first day. Well, that's true, a first part of light. The evening, morning, and hours, and it ends at evening. But evening is not the beginning of a new day. Evening is the end of that prior day, of the daylight hours, because that's when you get into what's called the street lights. That's called twilight.
Twilight.
That's the time between 2 days are separated. That's the only way you get to do what's called the Day of Atonement. It say you should do it on the 10th day of the month, right? But then how does it skip back to the 9th of the month at evening? You should start it. Think about that. It says clearly, do it on the 10th day, but you started on the 9th day at evening. Huh? The only other thing that do that is the Passover. You started at evening. 30 minutes later, you into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Same way with starting it on the 9th. You just start your fast on the Day of Atonement right before sundown. And then you go into the 10th day. Start at night all the way up until the next day. And then you stop it at evening on the 10th day so that at sundown you don't go into the 11th day. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Then you still doing it on the 10th day. You're just starting on the 9th day of preparation. Y'all, if we don't understand the times, y'all, we're going to lose it too. We got chasing the moon and stuff. He said, you ain't got to do all of that. All those are shadows of things to come. I want you to focus on the internal light. The sun and the moon wasn't created to the 4th day. So why are we battling this out instead of battling about that light 3 days earlier? What was the light in Genesis 1 and 1 and 1 and 2? What was that light? That's the light he's talking about. That's the light that science want to get away from. They want to call it a Big Bang.
That's the one they don't want to talk about.
Hey, y'all ever think light come from a Big Bang? You ever put one of them cherry bombers in an empty milk jug? Do that milk jug come back together?
No, sir.
A hand grenade in your pocket if it goes off. Do your thigh and genitals come back? Stronger and better. Let's get it, y'all. We ain't got nothing but ain't gonna talk no more 15 minutes. These some quick hitters though.
Let's put some money on it.
No. Daniel chapter 1 through 4. Y'all, and what I'm talking about is the wisdom of this world, and when things are happening, what the kings that had the most wisdom did. And they had to call wisdom greater than this world. Y'all, and they call wisdom, we just not listening. When you hear it say it's an act of God, y'all, they're not lying to you.
That's right.
When you look at when a tornado go through, it looked like a nuclear bomb had hit, trees have shaved off. How does wind do that? And then you get wind and rain cause a hurricane.
Yes, sir.
Look, a tsunami will rush in for 3 miles on land and pull everything that's wicked back out to the ocean and take it back with it. Y'all think about that. This tsunami, if it hit here, it goes past Barnes Hospital on land and pulls every car, every house back into the ocean for 3 miles. You kicking and trying to grab, and it's pulling you back to the ocean. And they can't explain that. We're going to make sure we hit some Jeremiah 31. I got to hit that. If they're able to search out there. So y'all don't worry about it. They can, all those are figures that they know they ain't adding up. Shit, if you can't go to Antarctica, you sure can't be out there in outer space. And it's 250 more degrees colder than Antarctica. Do it make sense? Then there should be no hypothermia on Earth. Get the new outer space boots. Y'all, we be rocking them. When we Timberlands be out of business.
Might be Timberlands.
Dare to challenge below zero, will ya? The new Timberlands, outer spacers. Did they sell them? Because they know they can't. They can sell them to you up here. And you just have visions of walking around on Mars, getting in your spaceship and dock to somebody else's and go in their house, but you have no outer life. It's consumed inside of a capsule. That's the life that they have for you, other than what's coming to planet Earth. No, we ain't going for no rulership like that. See, Donald Trump don't even want to stay in the White House. Why y'all think that is? Why y'all think he spent all his time tomorrow? He don't want to follow Obama. He don't want to get in that bed. Chicken grease still smelling. Hot sauce being found behind the bedpost. He like, hey. But y'all have to understand the mindset, so they don't want to chase nothing. They really ain't going to chase the tables being turned, the head becoming the tail, y'all. And that's all nations. It's just not this. All nations, head of all nations, have to become the tail. Mm-hmm. They rather go out of space than to do that. Go ahead, bro.
I heard a saying that I didn't realize until I came to the truth. It said, I'd rather rule in hell than serve in heaven.
Yeah. But see, that's just vain talk. They ain't got a clue what the lake of fire is like. And see, it ain't like Tophet ain't been on, y'all. We're gonna move on, but just so we get an understanding of what Tophet is, give me a little bit of Jeremiah 30. And I just want to get, I believe it's about 30, what Tophet of old. And we're gonna see what kindles Tophet.
Jeremiah 30?
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, just hold that Jeremiah 10 for homework.
Hold that, no. Right. Yeah, I want to run and get that light because a few people, they asked me about that Jeremiah 10. I just want to read just quickly that Jeremiah 30. Is it 30 and 30? It ain't? Hold on.
Yeah, it is.
What you looking for?
Jeremiah? I know Jeremiah got 50 verse, 52.
Yeah. But you got that
Jeremiah 30?
Walmart.
How many guys?
It ain't no 30
verses. Okay, you see Tophet? Give me Tophet of old. Right about maybe, check 31. Tophet is of old. But while you're doing that, give me Jeremiah 10, y'all, 1 through 10.
You said Jeremiah 30, right?
No, I'm come back to that, but give me 10 right now. I just wanted to make sure I'm telling y'all right, so y'all get an understanding of what Tophet breathes. What's causing Tophet to be what it is. Jeremiah, is it 7:30? No, that ain't it.
How you spell Tophet?
T-O-P-H-E-T. Tophet is of old. Type it in just like that. But give me that Jeremiah 10, y'all. Let's roll.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1.
What it say?
Hear ye the word which the Elohim speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Right.
Thus said the Elohim.
Isaiah 30 and 33.
Isaiah 30. Boy, see that? I knew wasn't I right on the verses? Okay. Isaiah 30 is. Read that for me real quick. But I want you, yeah, I had to, brother. Look, give me some of them. The numbers was right. Right. Used to be sharp, boy, but y'all know what I want. Look.
No, I ain't doing this.
But I know, but look, if we get in it, it still has to have to be the subject matter.
Right.
You know, that's what the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit ain't gonna never tell you what to tell somebody. It's gonna lead you to what you should be studying. Right. So good looking out, bro. Where we at? I want you to finish that Jeremiah 10 on, then we're gonna hit that Isaiah. Good.
Verse 2.
What it say?
Thus said the Elohim, learn not the way of the heathen.
Right.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Yes, sir. Be not dismayed, y'all. Don't be caught looking up. If anybody teach you a doctrine that you came from up there, built from all of those particles out of there, then they're telling you you have celestial flesh. It said the Most High breathed in you, you became a living soul. John 20 and 20, he breathed on the disciples and said, receive ye the Holy Spirit. That's what he breathed on the disciples. Next thing you know, they casting out demons. Peter walking on water till he got scared. He said, even the demons listen to us. Have you ever read where he said, idols bow down to us? It's always the other way around. Don't you bow down to idols. What you look like bowing down to a statue? That draw a face of Martin Luther King on that. And everybody just walk past it, rubbing it for good luck. Read some more of that Jeremiah 10. Go ahead.
Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Yes, sir.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Who dismayed at them? Who always talking about it? Every nation talking about what's out of space, going to Mars, going there. If you was there in 68, why is it taking you 30 more years to get back? It ought to be a McDonald's up there and a Macy's.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Technology better than it was in the 60s.
Boy, come on.
Right.
Read some more, brother.
Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain.
Right, worthless.
For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with an axe.
Right.
They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammer, that it move not.
So you're putting a stand on it so it don't flip over. Go ahead.
They are upright as a palm tree.
So we see what they compare to what they're upright as a palm tree. When you look at a palm tree, same thing. Go ahead. Yeah.
But speak not. They must need be born.
They must be born. B-O-R-N-E. That means they have to be carried. They can't even walk themselves. So why are you giving this the energy that you shouldn't? You need to save that the energy for what's going to be coming at you in your sleep. Ain't going to be no Christmas tree in your sleep giving you a bad dream. When you wake up, somebody may be shoving it up your rear end. Now, maybe that's giving you a bad dream. But it ain't no tree in your dream working you over.
If you dream about that happening.
Go ahead.
If it's happening, that's a problem. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, brother.
It's a heavy sleep, eh?
Boy.
That ain't sleep. You would have called.
Go ahead, say it.
Verse 5 again. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not.
No.
They must needs be born.
See, they can't even talk. It say they speak not. They can't talk. They can't even walk. You got to carry what you're worshiping. What's wrong with that picture after what we just read in Psalms 91 to open up? He be our wings. He be our shadow. All of that, he's carrying us. And you got to carry your God around. And you gonna be, I'm going to kick your rear end. Wait a minute. Wait till I dress him up. They looking at you, yeah, go and get through. Then I'm going to beat the sleeves off of you and that idol. Go ahead, bro.
Because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them.
Be not what?
Afraid of them.
So why do we talk scared talk of Christmas trees? Y'all, we talk more scared about a Christmas tree than we do demons. You act like that's something that don't exist. You act like that don't exist. Oh, man. Guess what scientists call succubus and incubus riding you at night? Sleep paralysis. They say you're caught between two worlds of waking up. You know what the problem is with that? Everybody got the same dream. That's the part that science can't explain. So we have to theory it out. Why does everyone have all this same thing? There's a witch riding them and they're breathing. And every one of them, when they say the Messiah's name, at least 3 times it releases them and don't come back. That's the part that they cannot figure out. So they try to theory it away. Well, you know, when you eat cereal late at night, play cards along with it. There's a combination there of Cheerios and Ace of Spades. No. And you will want to believe that lie. Cheerios and Spades. Go ahead, brother.
Be not afraid of them.
Right.
They cannot do evil.
They cannot do what?
Evil.
Read that part again.
Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil.
See, y'all, it cannot do no evil but to the psyche what you give it to do evil, but it's still you doing the evil. It's not that. You can walk past it like this. The only reason we attack Christmas trees is a way of getting back at our people who's still in the world. Because they've been calling you in a cult. Negro, you come around here with them marriage license wrote with crayon, and your whole mind, I'm gonna get you when December the 25th comes up.
Or you just been a lazy, no good Negro all your life and didn't want to buy nothing, never in your life.
Yeah, so you look at, that's what I want to practice right there.
I ain't got to buy nothing. Well, I got an excuse. You ain't never bought nothing.
Go ahead, Zeb, down the team.
Neither also is it in them to do good.
See, neither is it also in them to do good, so don't have them around. So the Bible explains itself. Look, don't get caught up into the traditions of man, the customs of man. It's not good to have them around, but there's no evil can do it. You shouldn't be scared to go to work because the Christmas tree at the front door. Walk past it like it ain't even there and clock in. It's going to be when you go to lunch, you think they ain't going to have it? The box that they give you, that double burger and fries, ain't got Christmas wreaths around it. And you flip it open like you don't see it and go chowing down on the Christmas burger. See, at that point, you're telling yourself the box can't do no evil. It's just a box. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Elohim, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appertain, for as much as among all the wise men of the nations, and in all their kingdoms, there is none like unto thee. But they are altogether brutish and foolish.
What are they?
Brutish and foolish.
Brutish and foolish. Talking a good game, a tough bullying game. Trying to make you feel like you less than nothing for believing in the Bible. Some white man coming out of the sky. You didn't read that in here. See, that's some scientist or some vain philosopher told you. And guess what? All of these people that talk about the Bible, guess what they doing? Christmas. They doing everything that they say don't do, and the Bible tell you don't do. They doing that's in the Bible. They doing. Oh, you don't want to believe in a man cracking the sky, but you believe in Christmas out of the same book that talk about a man cracking the sky.
Or Easter.
Or Easter. Yeah, go ahead. You doing all of the idol worshiping days, but you don't believe the book. Read some more, brother.
Verse 8 again.
What it say?
But they are altogether brutish and foolish.
The
stock is a doctrine of vanity. Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Euphrates. The work of the workman, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of the cunning men. But the Elohim is the true power.
That's right.
He is the living power.
What is he?
The living power.
Living power, y'all, not dead power that you have to carry, that you have to dress up and say, you putting on the finest garments of Egypt. What you look like buying silk that you won't even wear and put it on a piece of stone. Mine gone. You finished that, Zed? Down to 10.
He is the living power. And an everlasting king. At his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide in his indignation.
See, so that's what we're talking about, y'all. So y'all get into 1 Corinthians 10, start about verse 16, and y'all see the difference in, Paul talks about an idol is nothing in 1 Corinthians 8. But when he get into 10, he talks about drinking with the cups of devils. Right. Y'all, devils are still, they didn't die. Angels can't die a carnal death. So the offspring of those angels that they mated with in Genesis 6, they still here, y'all. They're saved for eternal damnation. Not damnation through a flood. They come right through the flood. Get into some Enoch 19, the first three verses. It's going to tell you about the female side of them succubus and incubus that was riding men in their sleep. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have Deuteronomy 23 and 10. That's a supernatural understanding. The man that chances at night must do what Leviticus 15 say, for the man that do the same thing with his wife. But who gonna tell? The man that chances at night, any version you break down say, the man that has a nocturnal emission. Let's go further, a wet dream. You have to do what Leviticus 15 say if you were fully aware of what's going on. It's the same thing. Something has caused you to look back in your psyche and do a supernatural thing with your member that takes no friction. None. No friction. It's all up here. Boom, draw, soaking. Who you gonna tell though? I mean, what you gonna take him to the priest? A chance is in the night. Yeah, gotta go on. Look, you gonna look. That's why we talking about men to throw women out of the Passover. But if they chanced in the night, who they tell it? If they gonna void themselves out of the Passover? Male, female, free and bond. If you don't do the law from them 4 parts, you cheating. If you ain't took a full bath after that and you a man and showing up, you're in violation worse than a woman. That's what the law say. But you're in a position that yours not going to show like hers. Unless it's something biting and grabbing on you in your shorts, then that'll show.
You are very unclean.
Y'all, let's finish this up. Y'all ain't got but 5 minutes. Daniel chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. Then we're going to hit Acts 7 and 22. And y'all, what we're going over these quick, we're just going to hit these one hitters all the way down. What we're showing you is the power of the Most High and when the world uses magic. Yeah. I want Miss Joshua where Pharaoh fired the magician. Go ahead, how we looking, y'all? Daniel chapter 1, verse 1 through 4, Acts 7:22. Let's hit them up, y'all, so we can move on. These some quick hitters, y'all, but what we're doing is showing you the difference of Bible fact versus science fiction, because every scientist, how do you trust them and they end up trusting the Lord in the end? Well, we was good, our homework good, but when you get F5, y'all, we out of the picture. And you still trust them like they're God. How do you trust anybody, you know, if they say, don't go to the doctor, they're going to kill you. But you send them to the doctor to get the diagnosis so you can fix it. See, you can't have it both ways. Right. The physician was put here for that. You're just on the low end or the skill. If they're at a different skill level, he put them there for a different level. But they're doing the same thing that you tell them. They always say, here's a prescription and here's a diet. The diet will fix what you got. If you can't stop eating that chitlin loaf, here's some blood pressure pills. It'll try to balance it out. But this gonna wash all the water. Then you have to take this water pill, and then that's gonna flush all the potassium out of you. Then you're gonna have to take this potassium pill. Or you can do what the Lord say, and you can eat this diet. That's right. See, so you can't blame them when they're doing exactly what it's saying. They're just offering you what your soul lusting after. No more than, no. I got a jar of pig feet with 2 eggs in it now. You can't be saying that, doctor. Yes, ma'am. I'm saying that you must go Deuteronomy 14, Leviticus 11. Here it is right here. I don't want that. Give me this right here. I'm telling y'all, it got so bad for us in the 70s that people would go to house parties and card parties and pull their medicine out. It meant something. That you had a doctor. Not that you got 4 diseases. Right. You want people to see you got a doctor. And what is them? Oh, them foot. Okay, if your foot fall off again. Okay, now what is that? Go ahead, y'all. Daniel, y'all.
Daniel chapter 1, verse 1.
What it say?
In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem, and besieged it. And the Elohim gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, unto his hand, with the part of the vessels of the house of Yahweh,
Right.
which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God.
Right.
And he brought the vessel into the treasure house of his God.
Right.
And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, and the master of the eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes.
So right here, he spake unto Aspenaz, the master of the eunuchs. So this dude controlled all the eunuchs, the men that got no rights. So he would assign them to different spots to watch men's wives. That's all they can do is do this. I mean, because all the beauty, ain't nothing happening, no rides. Shorts is still flat. So they're eunuchs, so they would assign them to different things. She wasn't worried about them. Go ahead.
Children in whom was no blemish.
Children in whom is what?
No blemish. But well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science.
And understanding what?
Science.
See, there's science again in there as a second wisdom, but they say they're full of wisdom and understanding all science. The key is, are they doing what the scientists say and don't understand, or are they performing supernatural acts that the Most High has given them? They understand all the wisdom of this world. Yeah, we understand the wisdom of this world. It's limited. Go ahead.
And as such had ability in them to stand in the king's place, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meats. No, he wants just the four.
Yeah, just the four, y'all. But what I wanted to show y'all is that they were wise, man. They were skilled in science. This who Pharaoh had to call. He like, look, I need an Israelite to break this down for me. Y'all ain't doing nothing. Now this, we need the wisdom of God in here. We need somebody that can make that connection. He said he gave that to a group of people. Y'all, it's no coincidence they show you that. We want even more. They already showing it to you, but we want to show them the wrath of God, which he didn't tell us to show them. He said, show them the light of God first. And then tell them, if you don't accept the light of the Most High, wrath is coming then. But this new science today say, tell them, you're doomed to hell, you don't have a chance. Put that Bible out of your hand. Get that damn Bible out of it. And they'll cuss and say, damn Bible, out of your hand. You ain't supposed to be holding it. Well, ain't they supposed to teach their family members once you give it to them? And that what Cornelius did?
Converted his whole household.
Hold that, give me Acts 7:22, Exodus 7.
You want the Acts or Exodus first?
We go Acts 7:22, then we get to Exodus because it's going to explain something. It's going to go into detail in the Exodus. I want Acts 7:22 because we're talking about wise men. The Most High showed these men and they sent them to the most wise. This is what we have to understand. He didn't give us devil doctrine, which can be easily defeated. He gave us supernatural power to defeat demons. Y'all, this is not an idle deal, but y'all, we cuss out people like they having idols, and then when you talk about demons, they don't even come up. And then you have devils amongst you. Men living with demons inside of them that'll cause great chaos. You cast out the sick demon, but there's another demon standing right there that brought a legion with him that's got everything in disarray. You're casting out everything but that demon. So what you still got? Let's read some more. Who got it?
You said Acts 7, what you want?
22, just talking about Moses.
Okay.
But if you need to back it up, go ahead.
We start at 22. Acts chapter 7, verse 22. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians.
He was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. Not some of it, all of it. Go ahead.
And was mighty in words and in deeds. And when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel.
So he studied the wisdom of Egypt for 40 years. But guess what's doing for a loop? A burning bush. Hold on, you studying science for 40 years in the top witchcraft capital on planet Earth, but a burning bush that throws you for a loop. Wait a minute, how is this burning and ain't consumed? Showing them what the lake of fire gonna be like. Did we ever hit Tophet is old?
No, Isaiah 30 and 31, 33.
But we done on that one. So we done on the Acts. I want to get to Exodus 7:1. But just give me that Tophet is of old.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 33. For Tophet is ordained of old. Yeah, for the king it is prepared.
For the who is prepared?
King it is prepared. He hath made it deep and large. The power thereof is fire and much wood. The breath of the Lord, like a stream of brimstone, doeth kindle it.
See, the breath of the Lord, like a stream of brimstone, do kindle the lake of fire. So it's wide and it's large and much wood is in there, and he breathed like this. Like he breathed the breath of life in us, he breathed the breath of damnation into the lake of fire. And it says a stream of brimstone that fires it up, and it whoosh, you know how you squirt lighter fluid on that, and it whoosh with the breath of the Lord, and it doth kindle it, and it's just burning like and ain't consuming.
Like fire you see out of a dragon's mouth, a stream of fire.
Exodus 7:1. That's all I wanted to show y'all. Tophet is of old. They've been talking about the lake of fire. It's prepared for kings.
You also see it in Jeremiah chapter 19 and also Jeremiah chapter 7.
Yes, sir.
So, Brother Dan, all those guys that said that they're kings,
So everybody what?
all those guys that said they are kings here on earth.
Oh, well, he says that's what it's prepared for. And see, it's kings that take the place of Messiah. Because we just read in that second verse, he's the king of who?
King.
He's the Lord of who? So that's what kings got to prepare for. Those who want to leapfrog the established. Got a place for you.
And those wicked kings that didn't do according to his commandments.
Right.
The wicked kings that he set up to bring down. To show the world that by his wisdom and by his power and might, he bring up to naught, because man can't.
Right, absolutely. Go ahead, y'all.
We're going where Exodus what?
7:1. And see, y'all, the reason I'm saying this is because things are being changed and where it's flipped with this new age doctrine that's coming, that's talking science fiction, science theory versus biblical fact. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 7, verse 1.
Yes, sir. We ain't got long, y'all.
And the Most High said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh.
Who he make him a god to?
Pharaoh.
See, he didn't make him a god to us. I made you a god to Pharaoh. Pharaoh says, because Pharaoh say, I'm God on earth. I'm just waiting on Ra to come back. But until he gets back, I'm God. So the Most High say, well, I'm going to make you a God to him. He's going to see the power of God. Go ahead.
I have made thee a god to Pharaoh.
Right.
And Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
See, that's how Pharaoh's heart got hardened, y'all. He didn't just see, you'll have people say, see, y'all God's so unrighteous. See, he'd make a man heart hardened so he can't even believe in him. Why would he harden his heart? How you gonna believe in him with his heart hardened? And then you scratching your head, and that don't make sense in the Bible. It don't make sense. He just set them up to fail. But we just read the next verse. What it say, lies again? By what? Signs and what?
Wonders.
See, that's going to harden his heart because he like, well, my magicians can do that too. I ain't letting them go. He said, okay, you're going to learn. You've been paying the magicians and they ain't been worthy of their hire. They've been fooling you. They still doing card tricks compared to what's going to go down. Go ahead, brother.
And see, this is the next line they don't acknowledge. It says, but Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgment. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Elohim, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did as the Most High had commanded them, so did they. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spake unto Pharaoh. And the Most High spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Most High had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
Right.
And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Most High had said.
See, that hardened his heart again because he's looking like, I'm the king. It's like Donald Trump. You can make him say that, but 2 days later, he like, shit, I didn't say that. Wasn't me. They like, but we got you on tape. That wasn't me. You misunderstood what I was saying. See, that's a hardened heart. He don't want to deal with the facts of the matter.
That was just a nasty
That was just that. I just want to hit that line so we can hold that. Y'all read all of for homework, all of Job 38, because it's going to get up into the heavens. When he questioned Job, where was you when I put down Poseidon? Where was you when Orion circled the earth? Do you know about that? Can you explain that? If you can explain that, then we'll do this. But I'm going to give y'all all these for homework. Job 38, 4 through 30. Ecclesiasticus in the Bible. Chapter 1, 6 through 17 is going to talk about when they go all back to death. Ain't no second chances in the grave. Isaiah 24 and 21. And that's where he say, bring forth your reason. If your God can tell what's in the back, what's in the middle, and what's going to happen in the future, then he got it.
40 and 12.
40. Is that what, Isaiah? Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's 40 and 12 also. Is that where it says, no, I'm talking about where he says, who's God?
I think that's 41 or 42.
Right.
Is it? What it's saying? Y'all get that too as homework. Call it out real quick. I thought it was 24 and 21. 21 and 21 Isaiah. Maybe 42 and 21. Y'all find that? That's homework. 41, 21. That's what I want. Y'all make sure y'all put that down. That's where he asked the context. He said, okay, let's do the God test right now. This for any scientist too, you get with them. Ask the scientists to tell you what happened right there. They're saying 10 billion years ago. What does that do for us? The Garden of Eden is only 10 to 12,000 years old. If you look at the time, each day was 1,000 years, and then you got Adam and Eve, then we go on a 24-hour clock. It's only been 5,700 some years since Adam, so the earth is only, as far as we know, this earth, but they're talking about the billion, they're talking about before Genesis 1 and 1. They're letting you know if something happened before then. We're just saying it's at least 1 billion years old. But how do you measure that when carbon dating at best is 50,000?
Well, if you set time back that far, you're less likely to want to even, seek it out.
Right.
Because it's so far away from you. You feel so far detached from it that you're less likely to even want to try to research that.
That's right.
But if I told you that your history started yesterday, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Because it's closer to you.
And
I
they
can
know.
research that.
Right. How you gonna research 1 billion years away but a theory of evolution and say it came from a boom? Right. Y'all, let's get right to it. We're gonna read this last one, y'all. I just wanted to get in the book of Jasher. Did I give y'all that homework, all of it? James 2:19, and that's demon spirit. Matthew 24 and 24. This one hitter, y'all. Give me these 2 one hitters and this Jasher. We're gonna close out. Matthew 24, 24, Matthew 7 and 17. Because what y'all have to understand is the Pharisees at that time knew about conjuring demons. That's what they was doing. Y'all, demon, to drink the cup of a devil. Y'all have to understand what Paul is talking about in 1 Corinthians 10 versus what he's talking about in 1 Corinthians 8. That's why he say anything sacrificed to an idol in the marketplace, what the hell do you care about that? They can't eat it. If you didn't set it up there, what it's going to do? How's it using the bathroom yet? It's been sitting right there for 10 years since you've been going to that joint, ain't it? Have y'all ever seen the Buddha statue of the Chinese joint? Sitting right there at the counter, been sitting there. You like, when he going to go to the bathroom? Damn, don't them incense, don't he feel that burning? Because they just stick an incense in his jaw, in his mouth. Change in there. When he gonna spend that change?
Then Abraham set food before his father's idols.
But when he get into 10 and he start talking about devils, Elijah, now we're talking about a whole different group of supernatural beings that's on the attack mode.
Yep.
Job chapter 4, you see, say, I saw a spirit pass before my face. And the hair stood up on my arm. I couldn't make the form out what it was, but it was supernatural. When he say the hair stood up on his arm and back, and that's when y'all feel you like something in here wicked.
Yep.
You know it's wicked because it raised the hair up on you like that. And it's a spirit that come by you. You like, I see a form of it, but I don't know what it is. But the way the hair is standing up on me, this is supernatural. This beyond flesh. And you know why hair stand up on you? And why these things happen? Because it's a sign the body trying to fool whatever it's looking at that is tougher than it. That's why when dogs get mad, the hair rise up on them. See, they trying to scare you, and a cat, people trying to scare you. And when they're angry, start tearing off his shirt. You say, when you get naked, I'm whooping you. See, that's what it's trying to do. And so her come up on you. It's like a mechanism that's trying to get you defensive for that. That's why dog's mane come up. You're like, oh, he mad. That's the sign you know he's really angry. But his tail is so far up his rear end, it's scratching up here. And he bagging up and barking. Right. Unless you got them together. Hit them 2 quick hitters for me, y'all. We're going to hit this last jazz and we out of here. Matthew 24, 24.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 24.
What it say?
For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets,
right,
and shall show great signs and wonders.
See, great signs and wonders. Y'all, this is what's going to tip. And y'all look at somebody saying, oh, well, he got some people on the land. Y'all think about that. They consider them miracles. Great sign and wonders. You kind a bunch of Negroes to go on the land and give you all their money. That's a miracle to you? You promote that. That ain't no miracle. That's just a rounding up of Jethro Bodines and Curly Stooges. Go ahead, bro. What else it say?
And so much that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
See, if it were possible. Y'all, I'm talking about what the Antichrist is finna get ready to do, some supernatural things, because it's gonna be demon led. It's not gonna be idol worship led. It's gonna be demon led. And it say, if it were possible, they would deceive who?
The very elect.
But it's not possible. Because he told you, all you have to do is see it for what it is. It's a trick. Go ahead, hit that next one. Matthew 7:17. And then I just want to get this book of Jasher, y'all. Starting the 48th chapter, y'all. We just going to hit bits and pieces. But I just want to show you what Pharaoh had to break down. And we'll see that what he had to break down to, and the wisdom of Joseph. And this is several Israelites. It wasn't just Moses. Joseph was interpreting dreams. But Joseph never ever looked off up into space, threw some coins down, or picked up a crystal and looked at it. Joseph said, only way I can get that knowledge is from the Most High. He the only one got that knowledge. For me to tell you what you dreamed. Because Pharaoh asked his magician, he said, tell me what I dreamed. They like, ain't a man on earth can do that. He like, what I'm paying y'all for? Y'all still think I'm entertained by these card tricks? If y'all don't ever watch Michael Jackson Remember the Time, just watch it for this, and you'll see all the magicians coming up and throwing their tricks. He like, they actually will put to death if your trick wasn't good enough. And look, they got the same thing that they go on in Vegas before it's called Penn and Teller. Can you fool the top warlocks? Are they fooled by what you're doing? They be sitting back and looking, they like, yeah, it's cool, but you got the ace up under there. We know that. He like, yeah, I couldn't fool you. But guess who fooled him? Gibraltar, an Israelite from Chicago. A young Hebrew doing magician work ain't been seen since Jambres and Jambres back in Egypt. Young brother called Gibraltar. Fool Penn and Teller. But he's an Israelite working on the wrong side. Let's get it, y'all, real quick.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 17.
What it say?
Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit.
Right.
But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Keep going.
Yeah.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
So we have to understand clearly, every tree brought forth. There's trees, y'all, and understand this, because who's the root of everybody on planet Earth? The Father. See, because that's why we have to understand he's the true Melchizedek, because, see, he's the root. See, Lucifer is a tree. That's why I said every evil tree. He's not the beginning, so you have to be careful when people throw that at you. We're not talking about trees. Trees are the products of the root. Who's the root? See, Christ is the root and the offspring of David. See, he's the beginning and the ending of David. The Father is the root of every offspring. He's the root of Lucifer. But he became a wicked tree. Y'all have to understand, he flourished, he became a tree, like Messiah became the tree of life. He became the tree of good and evil. He's a tree, so everything that he proved is rotten fruit after that. But his root started with the Father because he created him. Understand why he uses tree versus root. We can become trees and spread forth, but the Messiah is the tree of life. We're just off his branches. And we can become trees too. But a rotten tree,
Cut off.
gonna be cut off. It's nothing but cut it down and throw it in the fire. So let's get just a little bit of this Jasher, y'all. We're gonna close out. Jasher 48th chapter. And we're gonna just start at verse 5. Y'all read 1 through, we just gonna pick up verse 5. Y'all read 1 through 5. We're gonna skip through this. And this is gonna be, I want y'all to just understand what Pharaoh was dealing with. I'm talking about, y'all ever have a dream, y'all just wake up and can't remember it? But you know it was significant. You cannot remember just waking up, you like, what was that I dreamed about? You know that would trouble you all day? And that troubled Pharaoh so bad. He had a dream so bad, a nightmare, and couldn't remember it. But your soul knows that dream was about something. But yet we'll hear dreams, we'll believe dreams of You know, people that you know don't even study the Bible no more because you want an answer so bad. Uh-oh. 3 birds and a cat walk past your front porch. That ain't looking good. Why are you listening?
3 birds and a cat.
Go ahead. Right, go ahead. Go ahead. Pick it up, verse 5, 48 of Jasher, verse 5. Y'all, we're going to skip down in certain points and we're going to close on out, y'all. Go ahead.
All right, Jasher chapter 48, verse 5.
What it say?
And he awoke, and he slept again, and he dreamed the second time, and he saw, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, full and good, and 7 thin ears blasted with the east wind sprang up after them, and the thin ears swallowed up the full ones, and Pharaoh awoke out of his dream.
Right.
And in the morning the king remembered his dream, and his spirit was sadly troubled on account of his dream. And the king hastened and sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and the wise men, and they came and stood before Pharaoh.
Right.
And the king said unto them, I have dreamed dreams, and there is none to interpret them. And they said unto the king, relate thy dream to thy servants, and let us hear them.
Right.
And the king related his dreams to them, and they all answered and said with one voice to the king, may the king live forever. And this is the interpretation of thy dream. The 7 good kind which thou didst see denote 7 daughters that will be born unto thee in the latter days. And the 7 kind which thou sawest come up after them and swallow them up, or for a sign that the daughters which will be born unto thee will all die in the lifetime of the king.
So this is what his wise men interpreted to mean, the dream. Go ahead.
It says, that which thou didst see in the second dream of 7 full good ears of corn coming up upon one stalk. This is their interpretation. That thou wilt build unto thyself in the latter days 7 cities throughout the land of Egypt. And that which thou sawest of the 7 blasted ears of corn springing up after them and swallowing them up, will thou, whilst thou didst behold them with thine eyes, is for a sign that the cities which thou wilt build will all be destroyed in the latter days, in the lifetime of the king. And when they spoke these words, the king did not incline his ears to their words, neither did he fix his heart upon them. For the king knew in his wisdom that they did not give a proper interpretation of the dream.
See, because he knows, he like, look, y'all, this is what I remember about it, 7 kind. He looking at him, he like, that ain't what the hell I dreamed. That ain't clicking. That don't make sense. That ain't clicking. What you talking about? Some women gonna be doing this over here. That ain't got nothing to do with it. That wasn't it. Go ahead, bro. Read some more.
Verse 11. And when they spoke these words, the king did not incline his ears to their words, neither did he fix his heart upon them. For the king knew in his wisdom that they did not give a proper interpretation of the dreams. And when they had finished speaking before the king answered them, saying, what is this thing that you have spoken unto me? Surely you have uttered falsehood and spoken lies.
What have they done?
Uttered falsehood and spoken lies.
Y'all, they guessing. They guessing that they doing cold readings. They trying to look upside his head and see what he dreamed. It's like, you know, you go to a soothsayer. They always got them 5 fingers up in the window. You go up in there and they look at you. Now you go up in there with Timberlands on, diamonds on, you up in here. She like, oh, she sizing them up. Well, the only reason you dress like this, you ain't an athlete, not with them guts hanging like that. You got plenty of money. I see out there, that whip out there you got on them 24. Oh, this a dope deal. And she just sizing them up. Yes, a fat boy after you. A fat boy. And then you start thinking. You start thinking of every fat boy in your life. Maybe it's Earl, maybe it's Bobby, maybe it's Ricky, Ronnie, and Mike. And they just feed off of that. That's all they have to say because you want to believe a lie.
Send a whole new edition.
Right. Go ahead, boy.
It says, therefore, now give the proper interpretation of my dream, that you may not die.
See, death was on the line, y'all. You better give me the interpretation of all y'all dead men walking. Sick of that. What I'm paying y'all for? Oh, tell me that foolish stuff. All the women in here gonna die and y'all just making up stuff. And they, you know they trembling now, boy. Go ahead, what else he say?
Verse 12. And the king commanded after this, and he sent and called again 4 other wise men. And they came and stood before the king, and the king related his dreams to them. And they all answered him according to the first interpretation.
See, so everybody on the same page, they pass the word. They don't know how to interpret the dream, but we're going to skip all y'all. I want y'all to read all of that and see how they're losing with science and tomfoolery. And then we're going to pick it up at verse 33. Give me verse 33 and we're going to close on out, y'all.
All right, verse 33.
Okay, let me bag it up to, hold on. Go 28. Yeah, 28. Yeah. Y'all seen that, didn't you? Y'all watching for some wise men up in there. They call him down, you better come correct. We watching you. Go ahead.
Light of the hand.
Right.
Verse 28.
What it say?
And the king commanded that a proclamation be sent throughout Egypt to slay all the magicians that were in Egypt, and not one of them should be suffered to live. And the captains of the guards belonging to the king rose up, and each man drew his sword, and they began to smite the magicians of Egypt and the wise men.
See, killing went out because the questions weren't answered on the point. Time to die. Time over. See, all that science fiction and science theory was out the window. See, they were looking at common things. What all the king had, like multiple women probably, or women around him. They figured, well, if that's going away, that would be the natural thing. We'll just say it's the women. He's like, y'all full of BS. It ain't got nothing to do with women. That wasn't in a dream. Me losing a woman ain't terrifying me like this. Is you crazy?
He knew this was something supernatural.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 30. And after this, how you pronounce that? Merit, chief butler to the king, came and bowed down before the king and sat before him. And the butler said unto the king, may the king live forever, and his government be exalted in the land. Thou wast angry with thy servant in those days. Now 2 years passed, and didst place me in the ward. And I was for some time in the ward, I and the chief of the bakers.
So right here we got this butler that was in jail with Joseph. And this was 2 years after he killed all the magicians. He's still thinking about the dream, y'all. 2 years. Y'all talking about a nightmare. 2 years? You still trying to figure out what that dream was. It was too lifelike. You know it was real. You're letting this dream was real, y'all. Y'all may not understand what I'm saying, but I was there. I was there in this dream. Go ahead, bro.
And there was with us a Hebrew servant belonging to the captain of the guard. His name was Joseph. For his master had been angry with him and placed him in the house of confinement. And he attended us there. And in some time after we were in the ward, we dreamed dreams in one night. I and the chief of the bakers, we dreamed, each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And we came in the morning and told them to that servant, and he interpreted to us our dream. To each man according to his dream did he correctly interpret.
So right here, y'all, we're going to skip that because I want to get right to the end of it. Jump down to 43. Y'all read all that in between, but the whole chapter is about supernatural miracles versus the wisdom of Egypt, the magic of Egypt. Go ahead.
Verse 43.
What it say?
And the throne upon which the king sat was covered with gold and silver and with onyx stones, and it had 70 steps.
Right.
And it was their custom throughout the land of Egypt that every man who came to speak to the king, if he was a prince or one that was estimable, how you pronounce that?
Estimable, yeah, that's good.
In the sight of the king, he ascended to the king's throne as far as the 31st step. And the king would descend to the 36th step and speak with him.
So right here, the throne where the king was sitting on 70 steps. And this is based off of language. It's based off of Genesis 10, the table of nations. There were 70 nations there. There were 70 languages. Everyone that knew a language would ascend up. That's why the king came down to 35. He was at 31. He still was above him. He like, I'll come and speak to you. You did pretty good. You got 31 steps. You know 31 languages. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 45. If he was one of the common people, he ascended to the third step, and the king would ascend to the fourth step and speak to him. And their custom was, moreover, that any man who understood to speak in all the 70 languages, he ascended to the 70 steps and went up and spoke till he reached the king.
Right.
And any man who could not complete the 70, he ascended as many steps as the languages which he knew to speak in. And it was customary in those days in Egypt that no one should reign over them, but who understood to speak in the 70 languages. And when Joseph came before the king, he bowed down to the ground before the king, and he ascended to the third step.
Right.
And the king sat up on the fourth step and spoke with Joseph. And the king said unto Joseph, I dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter to interpret it properly. And I commanded this day that all the magicians of Egypt and the wise men thereof should come before me, and I related my dreams to them, and no one has properly interpreted them to me. And after this I this day heard concerning thee, that thou art a wise man and canst correctly interpret every dream that thou hearest.
Right.
And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, Let Pharaoh relate his dreams that he dreamed. Surely the interpretations belong to God.
Who they belong to?
To God. And Pharaoh related his dreams to Joseph, the dream of the cock, and the dream of the ears of corn.
Jump down to verse 61. Y'all read all that he explained in the dream. Joseph giving them information, but we get down to verse 61. Go ahead.
This is the proper interpretation of thy dream, and this is the counsel given to save thy soul and the souls of all thy subjects. And the king answered and said unto Joseph, Who saith and who knoweth that thy words are correct? And he said unto the king, This shall be a sign for thee respecting all my words, that they are true, and that my advice is good for thee. Behold, thy wife sitteth this day upon the stool of delivery, and she will bear thee a son, and thou wilt rejoice with him. When thy child shall have gone forth from his mother's womb, thy firstborn son that has been born these 2 years back shall die, and thou wilt be comforted in the child that will be born unto thee this day. And Joseph finished speaking these words to the king, and he bowed down to the king, and he went out. And when Joseph had gone out from the king's presence, those signs which Joseph had spoken unto the king came to pass on that day. And the queen bare a son on that day, and the king heard the glad tidings about his son, and he rejoiced. And when the reporter had gone forth from the king's presence, the king's servants found the firstborn son of the king fallen dead upon the ground. And there was a great lamentation and noise in the king's house. And the king heard it and said, What is the noise and lamentation that I have heard in the house? And they told the king that his firstborn son died.
See, and you have to interpret a dream to somebody that won't be pleasant. Your firstborn son gonna die. That's why it was so terrifying to him. You understand what I'm saying? This is your firstborn son gonna die. Like, I gotta tell you, bro. See, a lot of times we even get them over what we tell us. Don't tell me, I don't want to know. You don't want to know what's killing you? What kind of mindset is that? I don't want to know. But you finish that?
It says, then the king knew that all Joseph's words that he had spoken were correct. And the king was consoled for his son by the child that was born to him on that day, as Joseph had spoken.
See how he was consoled? Even though death was on the table, his spirit was at rest, because now he's got to deal with the ever-living God. When he send me dreams like this, I got to really look at that, y'all. It's not for us to go chasing nobody. You know, Deuteronomy 18 tell us all of what to stay away from. It's telling you to stay away from it, but we get in like Sirach 34, it tells us about dreams. It tells us if it's not from God, don't you believe it. And so that's telling you there has to be a test in your dream that'll let you know if this demonic or it's of God. There will be a test in there, because the devil cannot trick you. You must accept wrongdoing. And since a lot of us will go to sleep and think because I'm dreaming, it don't count. Oh, didn't nobody see me. That was a dream. How you gonna judge a dream? Because that's the soul that's dreaming. You're living a total different life in your soul. And you're doing supernatural things. Y'all know how many dunk contests I won in my dream? He said all of them. He said, boy, in my dream. Yo, we gonna close on out of here. But y'all read all of that. I say I won. See, I was holding up the trophy. See, and Spud Webb was like, damn.
Mosey Bowl.
And then I woke up. And I tried. I threw the ball at the rim. Leap high as I could and threw it at it. Ain't the same thing. Y'all, so what we're talking about again, y'all, Bible fact versus science fiction or science theory. Y'all, if you read something, you send something to somebody, make sure you're not sending them a theory or what do you call it? Conspiracy theory.
Or philosophy.
Or philosophy, y'all. What they saying out there too, Bob?
Excellent lesson. Imam Ray said she got it, she understood.
That's what it's all about, understanding. All praise.
All praise.
Yeah, we got about 11 minutes before they lock us in here. Oh, well, you know that's right.
There you go get out.
You got power too.
I got stuff to do.
See, y'all, and understand this, y'all. Who's the most famous person got us chasing something in our history? What they got us chasing? What are we always talking about? I have a what?
Dream.
See, so where is that dream in the scripture? Where you gonna see that being taking place in America? It wasn't prophesied.
Little black boys and little white boys joining hands.
That's not
in a Negro spiritual.
That's not Deuteronomy 28.
Nah.
But he did have a vision at the end. I may not get there with you, but we gonna do what?
Make it to the promised land.
And he had to die after that dream. So that was a testimony of, tester can't have a testimony unless there's a death involved.
Right. Yes.
So he testified the right dream at the end. Right. They gonna kill me, y'all. But we gonna get to the promised land. So why are we chasing that dream versus the dream of the promised land? Why we keep running after that one that want to integrate like that and take the abuse that we take it versus the dream that he had at the end?
Because he said we as a people. So there's only one people that's making it to the promised land.
All right, y'all, we're about to get this closing prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahshua Mashiach.
Yes, sir.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms.
Come on.
In the 27th chapter for my sister Felicia Cooley. The Most High is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Yahweh is the strength of my life.
Right.
Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear.
That's right.
Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Most High, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of Yahweh all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Most High, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion.
Yes.
In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock. And now shall mine head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto the Most High. Hear, O Yahweh, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me, and answer me. When thou saidest, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Yahweh, will I seek. Hide not thy face far from me. Put not thy servant away in anger.
Right.
Thou hast been my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O Elohim of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then Yahweh will take me up. Teach me thy way, O Master, and lead me in a plain path because of mine enemies. Deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Most High in the land of the living. Wait on the Most High. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Hallelujah! Say loud!
We got a shepherd or two, y'all. We greatly appreciate it. Y'all, like I say again, we'll update y'all on the Passover. Y'all, we're still a go until we get confirmation April the 1st. Out of town guests, holler at me, y'all. Stay in contact with me. I'll stay in contact with y'all, updating y'all where we stay. Right now, we look good till we get confirmation April 1st.
Hallelujah.